All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Devyo, Sajjano, Mitro, welcome back. Let us go ahead. We are still doing a chapter called Profits and Gains of Business or Profession. Are yes or no? We are doing allowed expenses because the Act has only given us expenses which are allowed and disallowed. Allowed expenses, if debited, if not debited, less, and if any other amount is debited, add as per books, less as per tax. We are done with 30, 31, the biggest of all 32. We are in scientific research, expenditure for scientific research. This has got multiple parts, subparts. We are done with the first two parts, 35.1.1 and 35.2. What is common between them? Capital expense or revenue expense. That's the only difference. Otherwise, capital expense or revenue expense will be allowed as a deduction, provided it is own business, scientific research, own business, scientific research. See, revenue is very normal, even if it is allowed or not allowed. You know, normal, any other business revenue expense, in any case, it was going to be allowed only. The real encouragement is giving deduction of capital expenditure, which normal businesses don't get. Normal businesses get what? Depreciation on capital expense. But here we will give you deduction of full cost, including pre-commencement expense. But pre-commencement will be maximum 3 years. And pre-commencement will not include any perquisites provided to your employees. ये correct है, मित्रों? Then in revenue expense you have to get it certified, not in capital. And in capital expense you won't get deduction of land, you won't get deduction of any other expense like depreciation on this asset. ये correct है? And what is the one thing specific to the first two parts of section 35, different from the remaining 5 which we are going to be doing now, that the first two will be allowed in the old as well as new regime. The remaining will be allowed only in the old regime. So continuing with the deduction that we are going to get under section 35, expenditure on research. Research is useful for your business, your competitors, your customers, everyone. We need to do some research, some scientific research. Let us understand what is now happening. We will be doing together 3 subparts. Section 35.1.2. You understand section 35 subsection 1 clause 2? 35.1.3 and 35.2AA. There is something common between them. So now what we will be doing in the points that we are making, if something is common, so I will write under all 3 of them. If something is different, so I will write the different point under the respective subpart of section 35. With this presentation, you will come to know what is similar. Of course, there is something similar, therefore we are merging them, like we did revenue and capital. And what are the differences? Everything will become clear. One way in which you can contribute to research is by doing your own business of research. Like that detergent formula or that COVID vaccine. But your business may not require scientific research. Think about it. I am in the profession of Chartered Accountancy. My profession, both practice as well as teaching, requires research. Research on the latest case laws, research on the changes in the law, research on amendments, research on any circulars, notifications given by CBDT, research on any rules made by CBDT, any update. But that is not scientific research, that is legal research. Do you understand? Everyone requires research. But we want to encourage scientific research. Now, is it possible that I, who does not require any scientific research in my day-to-day activity, I could have been a salaried employee, then I'm not doing PGBP only. But there are other organizations, colleges, universities, which are actually performing scientific research. For example, I used to study in the best college of South Mumbai. That is, in case it is not. Anybody from HR college here? No? Let's not argue. Jai Hind is better than HR. If you want to argue, we'll sit and discuss. Healthy debate. Respectful. One question that I will ask you, people will stop countering it. Do you have science, commerce, arts, all 3 in your college? No? Khatam, we have all 3 in my college. No, South Mumbai. So topic is over, no? Your? So there is no comparison also. Why are we even discussing? Leave, no? These days I see influencers going and asking which college has the best looking boys, which college has the best looking girls. You go see. Which college has the best vada pav? We are not asking. So much of misconceptions in this world. So listen. My college actually did scientific research on a lot of activities. But during my college days, student life, so I did not have any spare money. I did not have money. Student life, no, after all. So I did not have any spare money. College was doing research with its own funds, but it regularly requires funds for new and better research. Today, with the grace of God and lots of hard work, I have come to a respectful position in my profession that I have cash flow which I can donate to my college. Of course, if we make such donations, then those colleges invite you as chief guest, they felicitate you, etc. And precisely that is the reason I am not going to make any donation to my college, because if they invite me and I enter my college campus, and in case I go into that zone of 15 years ago, लेकर यादें तेरी, you not heard this? तेरे बिन, and the other one was अब तो आदत सी है. Atif Aslam was during my college days, and even today he happens to be one of the best singers around. But of course, your Anuv Jain generation will not understand what real music is all about. Nahin? Arijit, good singer, but again he can sing probably only a particular genre. Legend is Sonu Nigam, bro. You give him any song. You give him any religious song, devotional song, party song, slow song, fast song, love song, sad song, friendship song. Give him anything. And any actor, it looks natural. Probably in our generation is there would have been Mohammad Rafi or Kishore Kumar or Mukesh, or there would have been the great singers. But in our generation, maybe there is no one who can actually be like him. Most singers sing only a particular. अबे इधर वो सब discuss करने के लिए भी है. Everyone is looking at सोनू निगम, सोनू निगम sir. हर घड़ी बदल सोनू निगम. हाँ. अब है सा. So high pitch, low pitch. We'll keep a lecture on that. Point is that for this precise reason, I will not enter my college campus, because if I talk about my college for more than 5 minutes, then it will be difficult for me to come back from that zone, from her zone, that zone. No, never. So, ladies and gentlemen, but without going to the college campus, it is quite likely that I may probably make some donation. So now what you understand here is that I am not incurring the expense myself for my business. This is basically a contribution that I am making to another organization. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a donation. I am not incurring an expense for my business. I am giving a donation. Donation to what? Donation to any college. College. Arey, North Indians say it like that. College, association, institution, university. Donation given to college, association, institution, university. And that college with this money will do research. This is not my business expense. Normally, common sense says you get deduction only of expense incurred for your business. Correct, hai? But here you won't incur that expense. The college will incur. We want to encourage the donations so that organizations like these who don't have money can actually do the research with your money. And therefore, despite it having no relation or connection with your business, believe me, we are going to give you 100% deduction of this donation. This donation will be an expense which will be allowed as a deduction. Now listen. A first-hand experience of how exam questions come. See if you are understanding. This is the profit and loss account. Every question will be giving you a P&L account. Amount paid to Scientific Research Association approved under section 35. So will you get deduction of this? Before I taught this section, if you come across this P&L, you will think it is not business expense, so disallowed. But now do you realize, no, they want to encourage, they will give deduction. So is this an allowed expense? If you don't know that, you are unfit for the exam to cash on delivery. But you won't get marks now. Now talk to this amount, and from your mouth, I want to listen to add less no effect to really understand whether we can get marks in PGD. Talk to this 50,000. Expense. Debited. Allowed. You just learnt it. No effect. Is your mark. This is where you will get your marks. In case you were not aware of section 35, you would have said disallowed, therefore add. But because now you know it is allowed, you will get deduction. Understood? But of course, goes without saying that whatever be the college, association, university, it has to be approved college, association, university. Approved. Correct? So you observe this I have written under clause 2 and clause 3 because there is some difference here. See, whatever is different I will have to write separately. Whatever is same I will write across all. Here you have made contribution. So again, this is donation only. This is not a business expense. You have made a donation, but donation to whom? You have not made any donation to a small, college, university, association. This is big level, bro. This is donation directly made to the national laboratory. See, the laboratory in our school or college belongs to our school or college. But if government of India wants to do any experiment, so what will they do? Take your school laboratory on rent. No, they have their own national laboratory, which means we are making direct donation to the government. That is covered in 2 So non-government college, university will go in clause 2, clause 3. But government will directly come in subsection 2. You are giving donation to IITs. IITs are the premier engineering institutes of the country. Engineering is not education, you and me are aware of that. You all have anybody in your family doing engineering? One? Real brother? Cousin brother. Which engineering? Software. We call them hackers. Automobile engineer? Mechanic. My brother is civil engineer, I must have told you. Carpenter. Carpenter. Civil engineer. Carpenter. And then he did MBA. Because after engineering, doing MBA is as compulsory as doing Shraddh after death. It does nothing, but we feel good. So, bro, we have made contribution to IITs. Are you aware that the IITs, the IIMs of our country are government owned? So once again, the donation is going to government or any university, again, which is owned by government for approved scientific research. Approved scientific research. So what is the difference? And the difference is only here. This part is common. Difference is only subsection 2AA. The donation is given directly to government. Ye correct hai? And one more time, I would like to make it clear, all the 3 subparts of section 35 that I am doing here are not my business expense. They all are donation, 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 donation. And this donation may or may not be related to your business or profession. This donation may or may not be related to your business or profession. Do you understand this? As a clarification. And are we writing it below all 3? That means this point is common in all 3. So now you understand the presentation. Whatever is different, that part will write separate. Otherwise, we'll write common. We are giving donation, 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 donation to college, association, or maybe directly to government. And because it is donation, it is not a business expense. Still, they want to encourage. And because they want to encourage, in all these cases, you will get deduction of whatever you donate. Of course, that will debit to P&L account. No, so expense account debit to cash or bank. Expense will go to the P&L. Whatever you donate will become your deduction. All the cases you will get 100%. By the way, do you remember the first 2 parts were also 100% deduction? You all have taken birth in a very lucky period, a very fortunate. What is the quantum of deduction in the first two? 100%. Here, three of them 100, and the last two are also 100. When we used to be students, this used to be 175%. Then it got amended to 150%. This used to be 125%. This because the receiver is government, 200%. There used to exist a concept called weighted deduction. Listen to this. If I incur expense of 1 rupee, I should get deduction of 1 rupee. No, I will get deduction of 1.5 rupee. Spend 1 rupee, take deduction of 1.5 rupee. Donate 1 lakh, take deduction of 1,50,000. That also was 175, but later amended to 150. Donate 1 lakh, take deduction of 1,25,000. So, for example, in those days, if we had this adjustment, donation was 50,000, deduction was 75. So, this we used to say add as per books 50, and then 75 we used to say less as per tax, because this became expense debited and disallowed. Allowed deduction is 75, and then 75 was expense not debited and allowed. This is disallowed because it is debited, and 75 is not debited. So that we do separate, same as depreciation. Add as per books, less as per tax. The moment they made it 100, that means the amount debited is only the answer. So no need to do anything. It becomes very easy for today's generation kids. Here, it used to be 200%. Like literally our government was behaving like Anuradha, ek ka double. Donate 1 rupee, take deduction of 2 rupees. Donate 1 lakh, your deduction will be 2 lakh. And one day Jetli ji came. And Jetli ji saw all this. Bole, ye kya? Huh? What kind of a scam is this? Spend 1 rupee. So deduction you should be taking of 1 rupee. You are taking 2 rupees. What kind of a scheme is this? We understand that we want to encourage contributions towards research. But he said, everything will be slowly and gradually. Whatever was 200, 175, he made all of them 150. Whatever was 125, he made them 100. And then he said, now 150 will also become 100. One day there came a day where everything became assessment year 21, 22. Jetli ji brought an amendment in 2016. In 2016, saying that from 21 onwards, everything will become 100. Jetli ji went away. Everything became 100 after he went. But amendment was brought by him, and he said this amendment will come into force 5 years later. During those 5 years, lots of things changed, including the departure of Jetli ji. So today, last 4 years, this has been 100, 100, 100. You don't have to learn the quantum, believe me. We had to actually run for 100, 125, 175. We used to take verbal exams of each other, our friends. Bol, iska deduction, clause 1 ka deduction, clause 2 ka deduction. We used to ask these questions to each other. Do you understand? Alright, bro. Ladies and gentlemen. So, 100% deduction for all these donations may or may not be related to business. So, at least the last part, what is different government, that is clear. But do you realize for the first two, that is clause 2 and clause 3, still everything is same only. Donation to college association may or may not be related to business and 100% deduction. Then what is the difference? If you have given donation for scientific research, for performing any experiment, so clause 2 will be applicable. But if you have given donation for statistical or social science research, so clause 3 will be applicable. See, research is important in both fields. Research in science is important. Research, statistical, social science, demographic data, pollution data, year after year, air quality index ka research, noise pollution data, water pollution, air pollution ka data, demographic data, like what is the population of a country between 0 to 18, 18 to 65 and above 65. All that is also important for government to implement its plans. Statistics. That is also important. So there will be one college which is doing research in the field of science, another university which is doing research in the field of data, statistics, social science. Both are important. But scientific is more important. So this used to be 150. This used to be 125. In fact, Jetli ji has eliminated the differentiation between all of them. To hell with it. Whether this or this, whether this research or this research, everything will be allowed as a deduction at 100%. And this we already saw, obviously above, that this is also scientific. So that way these two appear to be same. But here the receiver is only different. Here it is national laboratory, IIT, government. So between the first two parts, what is the difference? Nature of research. And what is different in the third thing? The receiver is different. But the best part and the best news for today's generation is, bro, to hell with the mark. It is all deduction at 100%. Is that clear? Of course, provided this college association is approved or provided this scientific research program is approved. Only if it is approved, you will get the benefit. Otherwise, you will not get the benefit. And the last question. If after contribution, the approval is cancelled. This question is applicable to all the three, and therefore I am writing under all the three. If the approval is cancelled, what will happen to the deduction? See, is the law clearly saying that it has to be an approved college, university, an approved scientific research? But the approval is now cancelled. So will we get the deduction because it is no longer approved? Will we get the deduction? Is the question. Question understood? Approval is required, but that approval is now cancelled. So will we get the deduction? Yes! Why? Not my fault. After cancellation, if you donate, then it is your fault. But when you donate, it was approved. So then it is not your fault. And therefore deduction will be allowed. Understood? See, on any given date, now you don't know which college is approved, which is not approved. Your college, Ruparel, is approved or no, Khalsa is approved or no, or Kirti is approved. Kirti? Therefore you said most handsome boys. Bro, you said it. So before that, no, it's okay. Misconceptions are real. You should have just checked the front camera once before coming to such illogical conclusions. Whichever college you belong to, is that college approved or not approved? You don't know. A verbal communication from the college principal cannot commit that yes, it is an approved. You go to income tax website. Income tax website has got lots and lots of data. On that website, somewhere you will get the list of approved colleges today. The day you are donating, download that list, check the name and give the donation. Subsequent withdrawal of approval won't affect your deduction. But on that date, if the name is not there, then don't. You understand? So on the day of your donation, you can simply check the list. In fact, every time government adds any college or removes any college, they make an announcement. We call it notification in the official gazette. That it is hereby informed that following college will now be added or following college will now be deleted. But there are thousands of such notifications and circulars on a year-on-year basis. You won't be able to check individual notification because notification come on all sections of the law. And they are serially numbered. So which notification is applicable to you, you don't know that also unless you know the number and directly search with the number. Preferably you go and download the list. Ye clear hai? Everyone? Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, these were your 3 parts of section 35 where we are giving donation to some outside body and for that we are getting deduction. Good news is all of them are now going to be 100%, which brings us to the last 2. Section 35 2AB and section 35 subsection 1 clause 2A. They also of course have some relation between each other, something common, which is why we are doing that together. There's certainly something common between them. Shall we? 35 2AB. This deduction will be given only and only to an Indian company which is doing in-house scientific research and development. An Indian company which is doing in-house scientific research and development. I'll explain this point. First thing, this deduction is available only and only to Indian company. Only focus on that. That means if I am a proprietor, HUF, firm, LLP, trust, college doing any such in-house research, I am disqualified. This deduction is only for Indian company. Is that clear? First of all. Second, it also takes you to another important conclusion. This, the two which we did in the last class. Did they mention name of assessee, individual, LSB, firm, anything? Did they mention individual? That means the remaining 6, total 7, no? 2, 3 and 2, total 7. In 1 out of 7, they are mentioning company, which means the remaining 6 are available to individual, HUF, firm, LLP, AOP, trust, everyone. Only at one place they have mentioned company. That means everything else will be allowed to all assessees. Two things you have to take home as understanding from this line that is written here. Two things. One, this deduction is allowed to Indian company. This deduction is allowed to Indian company. That means other assessees won't get it. And second, in the remaining nothing is mentioned. That means all assessees will get it. Do you understand the two things? Second, this company is doing in-house scientific research. See, research can be done in 2 ways. One, sometimes we outsource our research. So you are an independent scientist. Scientist, you understand? Scientist. Our company approaches you that we want to do some experiment. What kind of experiment? Sir, we are making COVID vaccine, or we are making any medicine, or we are making any skincare product, etc. Whether this product will meet what we promise people. Protection from UV rays. Sunblock karke, there is a product. Sunscreen you call it, sunshield you, sunblock, sun protection film. What do you call SPF? SPF 50. I don't use beauty products. Let me be honest. I have never used any beauty product, but because of late I am having some dark spots on my skin. So the dermatologist, we call that lady. Of course, someone told me that it's a lady doctor. That was enough motivation for me to. Bro, my preferences are different from yours. Okay. Abhi, why you laughed at me? Why? Nahi? Acha, chhod. So she just told me that I understand that you are against usage of any beauty product because you are naturally good looking. हाँ, जो fact है वो fact है. But at least use SPF, whichever you are comfortable with, especially if you are going out in the sun. So if we are claiming any such thing, our scientist has to perform that experiment and check whether our product offers what we are promising. So can I say we can outsource this to a scientist? Like, you perform the experiment, we will give you your charges, your lab rent, your machinery rent, everything we will give you. That is called outsourcing. And that deduction will be allowed in the first 2 parts, which we studied yesterday, revenue expense or capital expense. But here, understand the difference. We are buying our own land. On that, we are constructing our own laboratory. We are not approaching some external scientist. It is in-house. The scientist is not an external independent. He is our full-time employee. The apparatus, the furniture, the machinery required for conducting this experiment, everything we are making. This experiment will be done in-house. We won't get it done from an outside lab. Do you understand? Is this a bigger risk than that? Think about it. There, supposingly, external scientist ko I give outsourcing. If my experiment fails, I will maximum lose that 1 day ka professional charges or 1 day rent. But here in in-house, if my experiment fails, my entire material purchase will be waste. My scientist ka full-time salary will be waste. All the furniture, apparatus that I have purchased will become waste. It is going to be a bigger loss. Is that a bigger risk? In-house is a bigger risk. Correct? Hai? And therefore, we are giving you 100% deduction of all your capital as well as revenue expense. 100% deduction of all your capital as well as revenue expense. If there is an Indian company that is doing in-house scientific research and development, we will give you 100% deduction of capital as well as revenue. So in outsourcing, We had separate parts for capital and revenue. The first two. Left side was revenue, right side was capital. But here, capital and revenue, everything will be together. Now, is the quantum of percentage same in outsource and in-house? That is also 100, this is also 100. Bro, that is because of Jetli ji. Now you will understand the history. Once upon a time, the first two were 100%. This was 200%. Because this was a bigger risk. You understand the logic. That was 100 because you are outsourcing. This was 200 because you are taking a bigger risk. But Jetli ji has eliminated the differences between all of them. He has made everything 100%. So 100% deduction of all your capital as well as revenue expense. Obviously, if you have taken 100% deduction here, so you will not get any deduction on these assets. No other deduction of these assets. When we say no other deduction, what is our target? Depreciation you won't get. And one more thing, you will not get any deduction of this, requires no explanation, and building also. Understand? The whole reason why we are giving a separate section for in-house is a bigger risk. If this experiment fails, your scientist ka full-time salary will be total loss. All the material will be total loss. All the furniture, plant and machinery, everything will be a total loss. But your laboratory building won't be a total loss. It is immovable property. If not the lab, you can use it for any other purpose. Building is not a loss. It's a capital asset. And therefore, building ka deduction we will not give you. We won't give you deduction of land and building. We will give you deduction of everything else. 100% deduction of all capital and revenue except land and building. Everyone is clear? Now I am asking you a question with amounts. I want to hear from you the deduction with amounts. Okay? There is an Indian company. Anybody giving all the correct answers? One, so nothing. One nothing from me. कुछ चाहिए? ठीक है. This merits maximum one chai. You drink chai? Chai nahi. Cut. Anyone who dislikes tea, I dislike that person. Nahi. Chai nahi. That is also not acceptable. Bro, coffee is for kids. नाम ले लिया 2 बार. See, if you speak chai twice from your mouth, then you need, then you, if you speak chai, then you need chai. चाय का प्रॉब्लम कैसा है पता नहीं. एक बार नाम ले लेना. कोई चीज ऐसी होती है ना, एक बार नाम ले लिया बाद में मतलब चाहिए ही चाहिए. तो थैंक गॉड वी डिडंट से ब्लैक डॉग. Saturday. Chai. Provided you give all the correct answers. Indian company doing in-house research. Indian company doing in-house research. Indian company doing in-house research. I will give you expense. You will give me deduction. Material purchased 5 lakh. How many said 100%? Someone said 100% no. How many said 5 lakh? How many said 5 lakh? No one said 100%. Okay. 5 lakh is right. If you would have said 100%, I would have disqualified you. See, I am giving you amount, so you have to give amount. You can't be saying in exam question 5 lakh will come, but I will write 100% and come. Arre? Ultimately, they have given amount, so your answer also has to be an amount, no? So 5 lakh material. How much deduction? 5 lakh. 10 lakh plant and machinery? 10 lakh. Indian company in-house research. 15 lakh furniture? 15 lakh. 50 lakhs salary? Full 50 lakh. Full expense will be allowed. Revenue, therefore, capital also is allowed. Capital also is. Fantastic. Land purchased for 1 crore. Most of you all now are out. How many said no deduction? Be honest. You should have said 0. Answer was 0. No deduction is wrong. Answer 0. So now you are out. Okay. On that land of 1 crore, laboratory building, we can buy or construct whatever we want. 2 crore rupees. So the deduction will be 0. Wrong. Wrong. No deduction of land. Don't take wild guesses. Is this capital expenditure on scientific research, own business, current year or last 3 years? 100% deduction. 35.2. 35.2 excluded only land. In-house land and building both are excluded. But 35.2 gave deduction of land. The answer was 2 crore. If I am giving offer for anything, remember that it is not as easy as you think it is. And when I give an offer like I will take you on a date, or date is still fine because your thinking is wrong. It can't be, I said I go out on a date with my mother also. Date is okay. But if I say that I will divorce my wife and marry you, bro, certainly not. Whatever be your expectations, no. If I am saying that, if I am giving that offer, you be ready that so you are never going to be answering. But in my overconfidence, I was sure that no one will answer. In one of the batches of last year, one student answered a question which was that often. Now she was absolutely right in that entire thing. I know. Look at your faces. Your faces are anxious. So basically, I started cross-questioning because I had to finally cancel the offer. Bro, I am very happy wherever I am. So she was right. Finally, in one of the questions, she made one small fumble. I said, out. Of course. So, bro, most likely is that answer will be very difficult. You won't be able to answer, but to keep you motivated to try, offers will keep on coming. Now you realize the mistake that you have made. Land is not allowed at both places, outsource and in-house. But all other expenses, there we had two parts. Revenue, capital were separate. Here, everything is covered. And building, though not allowed here, but over there it is allowed. So, once upon a time, it used to make a difference. Land was 0. All other expenses we used to take 200 here, and building we used to take 100 in 35.2. So, land 0, building 100, everything else 200 in-house. But since the Jetli era in income tax law, everything, land and everything else, you take there or here, it is going to be 100%. Honestly speaking, after everything became 100, this part is not required. If I remove this, so other than land, in any case, all expenses in revenue or capital were allowed. This was separately required only when it was 200%. After becoming 100, we don't need it. Simplification of law simply means that it has to be deleted immediately. No problem. One day when I become the finance minister of the country, very soon, it is a matter of time. Talks are going on. Announcement can come at any time. I will still complete your batch. Now that it has started. If it didn't start, you never know. But now that it has started, I will still complete your batch. Okay. Supposingly someone gives me 10 times of my present income and says that come immediately. Leave the batch and come immediately. If you complete the batch and come, I'll give you your present income. Leave and come, so I will give you 10 times. So what should the professor do? Bro, good for a moment, not good for your image, life, career, profession, ethics. Someone who is offering 10 times and bringing me, one day will bring someone at 1/10 of my salary and throw me out. That someday can come after 6 months also. And second, now you can't go back also to the place where you came from. If you complete and then say I am getting, please let me go. That is one thing. which is sensible, respectable, you can at least come back and show your face. So I will still complete your batch. Don't worry. Sir, but my friend is in the next batch. एक बार clear कर. Your friend is in the next batch. किसी का भी friend नहीं है. So like this is CA students getting over now. No more CA students. You don't have people, no? फिर क्या टेंशन? फिर क्या टेंशन है? अच्छा ठीक है, अभी I will still complete your batch. Bro, finance minister, if I become to in between, how? I am teaching in class 35 to AB. Yeah, this is not required. Why? Because all expenses now are covered in 100%. So even if I remove this, revenue and capital both will get covered except land, which is also the present situation. Not proper. Immediately call the finance secretary. Bro, delete 35 to AB from the law. Release a notification or note it down. We will do it in the budget. If we start doing middle year amendment, then everyone will abuse her like they currently are abusing the present finance minister. So I will be disturbed, no ongoing lecture. Therefore, as finance minister, we'll have to wait and watch. But I will still complete your batch. Ladies and gentlemen, are you clear that building will be allowed? What, sir? 100%. And once all the quantums have become 100%, it does not make any difference. Everyone is clear? Fantastic. Now let's talk about section 35, 1, 2A. Section 35, 1, 2A. Once again, what you have done is donation, 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 donation. आप इतना काप क्यों रहे हो? Bro, that was for the tea, not for me, bro. Contribution, sorry. Donation, 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 donation. To whom? अरे वो highlight. To Indian company doing in-house scientific research and development. Indian company doing in-house scientific research and development. Sir, we have seen this somewhere, sir. Government? क्या? ये पागल? ये I am sure you are doing it purposely. 100%. Arey, this company. So last time we were giving donation to college, university, association. That was covered. But this time we are giving donation to a corporate profit-making entity. That will be this entity. So when it used to be college association, the deduction used to be 150%. But here are you giving donation to a profit-making entity. So this used to be only 125. And the best news of today's generation kids is that it is neither 150 nor 125. Whether you give donation to college, to government or to a profit-making company, it is all going to be 100% deduction. So this donor is basically giving donation to this company. You understand? Donor will give donation here, company will spend. Donor will give donation, company will spend. Is this donor doing it in the nature of donation, not business expense? So can I say we'll have to add that point? May or may not be related to your business? Yes or no? May or may not be related to your business. We will give you 100% deduction. It may or may not be related to your business. Now, this donor will give donation here, supposedly 1 lakh, and company will spend that money. Same 1 lakh. The donor is taking 100% deduction, that is 1 lakh. And same amount company is spending and taking 1 lakh deduction. See, today though it is still 100. Once upon a time, this is why the past ka knowledge is important. This was 100. This was 125. Yeah, this was 125. This was 200. And understand the maths. Me donor, you company. Me donor, you company. Hi company. Bolo hi donor. Hi company. If I give 1 lakh to you, my deduction will be 1 lakh 25. And you spend that same 1 lakh. Your deduction will be 2 lakh. So same 1 lakh I am taking 125. You are taking 2 lakh. This was too much of a match. Too much of a match. Too much of a mess. This was too much of a mess. Slip of tongue, bro. This was too much of a mess. How can you take multiple weighted deductions of one? We do agree that now everything is 100. Still, it is the same amount which both parties are taking deduction. And therefore, if 35(1)(2)(a) is taken by the donor, so company will not get the deduction under section 35(2)(ab). Please understand, is this donor giving donation here? So between you all decide who will take deduction. Me donor, you company. Me donor, you company. Hi company, hi donor. Bol. Hi company. I will give you 1 lakh. If I take the deduction here, so you won't get deduction when you spend that money. And supposingly you want to take this deduction, then I won't get the donation cut deduction. Means end of the day, either the donor will get this deduction or the company will get this deduction. We are talking about the same amount. Please understand. Other than my donation, company will have lakhs and crores of rupees that it has spent. It can take deduction of all those amounts. Only my amount it can't take deduction because I have taken deduction. And my amount also, if I don't take deduction, then company can take deduction of that also. So finally, for the same amount, you can take only one of them. If donor takes this, company won't get this. And if company takes this, so donor won't get this. Do you understand? Do you understand? So now I want to know from you. This is definitely going to be eligible for a good offer. I want to know from you, who should take the deduction, the company or the donor? You understand the question, please. I am giving donation of 1 lakh to this company. If I will take 1 lakh deduction, company won't get. And if company wants to take deduction, then I won't get. Means effectively, can I say in statistic language, they are mutually exclusive. You can't take both of them together. Which one will be taken? If someone is ready with the answer, raise your hand, because offer I can give only to individuals. Why? After receiving, company will spend, no? But वो donation का amount is spent करेंगे, no? हाँ. See, once you get donation, that is your paisa. So wrong. Anybody else? Any other answer? हाँ. Donor. Why? अगर donor को टैक्स डिडक्शन मिलेगा तो लोग को मोटिवेट होएगा डोनेशन और डोनेट करेंगे. Fantastic. You're still not eligible, but at least till now you are right. Understand the logic. I am the donor, you are the company. Hi company. If I give you donation, we have to decide that I take deduction or you take deduction when you spend this money. If you are going to take, then I won't get. So bro, why will I give? Is there something written on my forehead starting with the letter P? C, P bola. Pagal. He said C. Chor. CA. Is there something written on my forehead? If I am not going to get the tax benefit, why will I donate? So who will donate? Who will take the deduction? The donor. Therefore, he will donate. Correct? So in real life, are we clear that we will be having this deduction? Correct or no? And therefore, the company will not get. Wrong! Right? You didn't understand? This is not allowed. But when the company is spending it money, is it revenue? When spending this money, is it revenue or capital expense? Own business, scientific research. It can take that, no? The first two. This is not allowed. Sir, now your reaction is, sir, but this is also 100, that is also 100. Now it does not make any difference. I told you we need to eliminate this. And this also can be eliminated just by adding company here. Do you understand? We don't need the last two. But once upon a time, when this was 200 and this was 100, it still made a difference. Donor will give donation, then he will take his deduction. Then when the company will spend the money, company won't get 200, but company can get 100. And that 100 even today company is getting. You understand? So effectively, resultingly, there is only one thing that can solve the nonsense of this part of the law. This you remove and write company here, problem is solved. So much of complication is not required. If you want to keep it simple, then literally keep it simple. Don't put so much complication unnecessary. Simple means simple, then don't complicate. Are we clear on this? Absolutely clear. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, that was your section 35 with all its subparts. Some of them were not our expense, they were donation given to third parties. But because we want to encourage such donations for the purpose of scientific research, statistical, social science, therefore we are giving you tax benefit even for those expenses. Everyone clear? We are still doing allowed. See, allowed expenses very big. Disallowed expenses will get over in 2 hours, less than 2 hours. That part of the syllabus is small. The biggest part is allowed expense. We'll see how much we are able to complete today. My calculation says most probably we will be able to complete allowed expenses. But we'll have to wait and watch. My calculation for now is saying next 2 lecture will get done with PGB. But we'll have to wait and watch how it works. Okay. For now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead. Everyone is with me? Next section of allowed expense. Till which section we are under allowed expense? 37.1. So in between 35, 35 AD. So those who were thinking, so 35, then 36, then 37. Now the 35 AD, D, DD, DDA. Bro, only because it is inter. In final, it is CCA, CCC, CCD. Both are one of the biggest chapters. Okay, not getting over anytime soon. But whatever is there in inter syllabus, we will be doing. 35 AD. This is known as investment linked deduction, under which your government has given you something called 14 specified businesses. 14 specified businesses. A list. 14 specified businesses. First few minutes we spend on understanding the logic of section 35. In this section, government has given a list of businesses. For better understanding of that section, I will take one of the examples from that list only. One example is one of the 14 businesses that the government has listed here is warehousing of agriculture produce. What is the name of the business? Warehousing of agriculture produce. Warehousing means storage of agriculture goods. Crops are grown in a particular season. Kharif crop, Rabi crop. How do I know this? Kharif crop, Rabi crop. See, don't say CA, bro. Certain things are taught in school also. I'm like CA, bro. Huh? Kharif crop, Rabi crop, season. But consumption takes place throughout the year. So between production and consumption, we have to store them. But in India, we have improper, inappropriate, and insufficient storage facilities. India has seen a very, very dark day when Government of India purchased wheat from farmers by paying a minimum guaranteed price to the farmers. Farmers won't suffer loss. They will give a minimum guaranteed price to the farmers. Government has purchased. Now, the system is that this wheat that the government has purchased, wheat or rice, they will distribute it to below poverty line BPL families at a notional price of 2 rupees per kg wheat, 3 rupees per kg rice. Notional price. Notional price. Nominal price. The difference, if farmer ko we could have paid 20-30 rupees per kg and we are selling it at 3 rupees per kg, that difference of 17 rupees government will bear the cost. But then government will purchase from the farmer and store. What government did was, the wheat was stored in an open ground, open field. There were floods. and tons of wheat got destroyed. Tons, plural. 1 ton has 1000 kgs, are you aware? So if 10 ton gets destroyed, that is 10,000 kgs of wheat. And when I said tons means 1000 tons is 10 lakh kgs of wheat destroyed. On the other hand, people in our country are dying of hunger. And the loss is already borne by the government. Do you understand what is happening here? So therefore, government realized that the existing warehouses are not sufficient. So your government is standing in front of you, requesting you, folding its hands, requesting, please start a warehouse. The country needs it. And like that, they have listed total 14. We are discussing logic of warehousing because it is one of the businesses in the list. As an example to understand the section. Like this, government has given a list of how many businesses? 14. Where for all the 14, government, warehousing is an example, requesting you, please start this business. The country needs it. Please start this business. The country needs, please make an investment in this business. Investment link deduction. Please start warehousing. See what will be your nature of business. You will have a warehouse, owned or rented. You will be paying the purchase price or the rent, the electricity, the maintenance, the security, the insecticide, etc. to keep the food grains safe. All this is your expense. And people will store their goods in your warehouse. Those who don't have their own storage, they will pay you freight, rent. The rent can be charged per kilogram, per day, per month. If you have studied the concept of overhead costing, you also know it can be per kg per day. Say 10 kgs, then we charge 100 rupees per day. But if you store 100 kgs, then we charge 1000 rupees per day. Per kg, per day, you have all those concepts in costing. You can charge the way you want. Fixed lump sum. Take this much fixed area for you in my warehouse and store anything at a fixed price per month. That will be your income. This is your warehousing business. And the existing warehouses in our country are insufficient. So please start this business now. Please. If somebody is requesting you so much, what will be your reply to this? What will be my benefit? Human nature. What will I get? What's in it for me? What will be my benefit? Do you understand? In reply, government says, we will give you 100% deduction of your capital expenditure. Normal businesses do not get full deduction of capital expense. They get small nominal amounts like a beggar in the name and nature of depreciation. But here we will grant you 100% deduction of your capital expenditure. 100% deduction of your capital expenditure. There was one business where we gave you this deduction. Scientific research because we wanted to encourage. And these 14 also because we want to encourage. Here is your section. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your section. Government is requesting you and asking you what? Please make investment in this business and we will give you deduction of your capital expense, which normal people don't get. Normal people get only revenue and depreciation on capital, but we will give you full deduction. So the summary of this section is, please invest in this business and we will give you 100% deduction of capital expense. Everyone is with me? Please invest, take deduction. Come in this business, take deduction. Come, take deduction. Bro, come, take deduction. Never play dumb charade. हिंदी में आओ, हिंदी में कम लेके जाओ. What? Bro, think before you speak. Then don't say if someone comes and does that to you. क्या लेके जाओ? What? 1 second. One more try. Second attempt. हाँ. अच्छा, you were like, sir, what is deduction called in Hindi? आओ is come, no bro. इतना basic तो you must be knowing now. When you have to call someone, what do you tell them? आओ आओ. You not seen Shah Rukh Khan Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge? That he used to say Urr. Then Amrish Puri used to say आओ आओ. Of course, आओ deduction le jao, you write a little far. Otherwise, you will feel it is section 35 ADLJ. Section 35 AD. And with this, we have some complicated section sequences like 35D, DD. Difficult to remember. And final, we have more, CC, CCA, CCC, CCD. It becomes very difficult for students to learn section number. In a chapter like PGBP, we can't take any risk. So what is going to happen in the next few sections is that we are going to be making some ridiculous acronym, people call it, some key to learn the section number. Some of it may be outrageous, some of it will be very unfunny, some of it will be, you call it a PJ or something like that. Doesn't matter. Even if one student of the class is able to learn the section number with the help of the nonsense that I am going to do in class, that nonsense is worth it. Even if one person is able to learn section number. So I do have something for every coming up section, starting with this AD. Come and take deduction. Come and take deduction. Ao deduction low. Or you don't want to keep it so big. So just write low. Ao deduction low. But that low ka L is in any case not a part of the section number. 14 specified businesses, you make investment in that business, and under investment link deduction, we will give you 100% deduction of your, see, revenue expense everybody will get, but capital expense everybody will not get. Scientific research we want to encourage, and these 14, warehousing was an agriculture. Warehousing was an example. As we go ahead, I'll give you the list. Let us understand what is section 35 AD. The rule is, if you start this business, you, while computing your PGBP, you will be minusing your expenses. That will include cost of your fixed assets also, because 100% deduction of your capital expense. You understood? Chalo, let's go into the more detailing. Major, ye logical part of the section is clear to everyone. Now, most of the conditions you'll understand if the logic is clear. We will also give you deduction of pre-commencement expense. We will also give you deduction of pre-commencement expense. Were we doing that in scientific research also? But there was a restriction on this. Maximum 3. Here though we are not imposing any time limit also. So can the pre-commencement expense be beyond 3 years? With only one condition, that when you commence your business, at that time, in books of accounts, you capitalize this. Are we aware that all expenses before the asset is put to use, in any case, will be added to the cost of the asset? To add these expenses to the cost of the asset. This is not a condition in taxation. This is an accounting condition. By chance you have not fulfilled this condition, your accountant, your chartered accountant who has knowledge of the law will guide you that don't pass a revenue expense entry, pass this also as addition to the cost with which you will be eligible for the full deduction. So it is not a condition that you have to fulfill. By chance you have not capitalized. So before we audit your books of accounts, finalize and publish your accounts in the newspaper, the auditor will guide you to change the entry. So this is not a big deal. Effectively, what you take home from here is we get deduction of current year as well as pre-commencement, and pre-commencement there is no time limit. So if you make investment in 14 businesses, we will give you 100% deduction of your capital expense, current year as well as pre-commencement. Is that clear? But you won't get any deduction, or before that, let me tell you another point. You won't get any other deduction of this expense. When we say no other deduction of this expense, what is our target? Why we won't get depreciation? Because you are already taking the full cost as deduction. Does that make sense? For this or with this, you will have to understand one more math. Please focus. That means 100% is not the real benefit of 35 AD. Everyone will have to understand. Supposingly, I buy furniture. If it is a non-specified business, so I take depreciation of 10%. But if I go in 35 AD, so I will get 100%. But if I take this 100, I am not getting this 10 because it can't be 110. That means the net benefit that I am getting from 3580 is only 90. 10 lakh ka furniture. Normal business will get 1 lakh deduction. 3580 business will get 10 lakh deduction. So the extra benefit is only 9 lakh. No. The real benefit of section 35 AD is what? See if you understand. The real benefit of section 35 AD is 100 minus the rate of depreciation. For furniture it will be 90, but for plant and machinery it will be 85. Why? Because 15%. For intangible it will be 75. For building it will be 90. Do you understand? Because of this 100 I am losing that depreciation. So net extra 3580 is not making my 0 100. It is making my 10 100, my 15 100, my 20 100. The net benefit is only 100 minus rate of depreciation. You understand this? Real benefit is that only. Because even if I don't do this business, depreciation I will get. Because of this business, I am not getting the deduction of depreciation. Does that make sense? Nothing you will get. So therefore, I wrote this. When I say this, it covers normal as well as additional. Correct? Warehousing as such is not manufacturing. So there is in any case no additional. Think about it. But some of the businesses in 35AD are manufacturing. So normally they would have got normal and additional. But because of 35AD, they are going to lose both. So the real benefit will be 100 minus normal minus additional. Absolutely correct. Everyone is clear? However, the law wants to make one thing clear to you, that 35AD is optional. 35AD deduction that you are taking is optional. If you take 35AD ka deduction, of course it has to be one of the 14 businesses, then you won't get any depreciation. But if you don't take 35AD deduction, then you will get depreciation. Do you agree and understand? If you take 35AD, no depreciation. But if you don't take, then you will get. Because 35AD is optional. What happened was, some assessing officers were harassing taxpayers. Supposingly, I am doing one of these businesses. Then can I take full cost as deduction? And I won't get depreciation. But I have decided to pay tax as per new regime. That is my choice. New regime of taxation says 35AD not allowed. See, as we move further, you will understand certain benefits not allowed. That means new regime also covers this. In new regime, like scientific research only 2 allowed, 5 not allowed. Additional depreciation not allowed. 35AD also not allowed. So if I am in new regime, I won't take 35AD. That assessee took depreciation deduction. Because that assessee has not taken 35AD deduction, so assessee is eligible to take depreciation. Assessing officer denied it. Why? Assessing officer is saying, you are in new regime, so 35AD not allowed. And you are doing specified business, so depreciation not allowed to specified business. When he said depreciation not allowed to specified business, assessee said that is only if I take deduction. If I don't take deduction, so I should get depreciation. You said no, specified business, no depreciation. That's a clear harassment. So you are not giving me full deduction because of new regime and depreciation because of specified business. Taxpayers made a request to government, and government actually 2 years ago had to amend the law and specifically mention that if there are people who are going in new regime and not taking 35AD, so you have to give them depreciation. This no other deduction will apply only and only if 35AD is availed. If not availed, so depreciation will be allowed. Is that clear, everyone? So no other deduction of this particular expense only if you have taken 35AD deduction. 100% deduction of your capital expenditure including pre-commencement. Next, we won't give you any deduction of the cost of land. requires no explanation. Do you agree? Goodwill and financial instrument. No deduction for land, goodwill, and financial instrument. You know the logic? You know the law. What do you expect from me now? Why we won't get this? The logic of this is hidden in the next point. If I explain the next point to you, you will understand the logic. But the law should be clear even now. I won't get deduction of three assets: land, goodwill, financial instrument. Land, because it is not an expenditure. Why this other two assets? Why these other two assets are not going to be allowed? Because 35 AD requires that the activity that you have started should be a new business. This activity should not be splitting up or reconstruction of any existing business. The activity that you have started should be a new business, not splitting up or reconstruction of any existing business. If you understand what is point G, you will also automatically understand what is logic of not allowing goodwill and financial instrument. I am now going to explain point G, provided you confirm with me. Sir, we have clear that why land will not allow. Other than land, what are the two assets not allowed? Goodwill and finance. Sir, what is the logic? It is hidden in the next point. Sir, the activity that you have started should be a newly commenced activity. You should not be splitting up or merging with any business. So there is an existing warehouse. You go and do amalgamation, merger, takeover of that existing business. That means you have not started a new warehouse. Do you agree? The existing warehouses were insufficient, therefore we added the section. If existing warehouse only you are buying, then you are not doing any value addition. Then we won't allow. So supposingly, she is running a warehouse already. She is eligible. I don't do anything. I am Kumbhakar. I sleep for 6 months. No deduction. No 35 AD. One day I get up, because Kumbhakaran also used to wake up once in 6 months. And I come to know that government is giving deduction of 35 AD. But I am like, 35 AD if I have to start. So I will have to start warehouse, keep a store manager. Too much of trouble, bro. Okay, bro, tell me one thing. What is the net worth of your warehousing business? Net worth. What is your business ka value? 1 crore. Example mein you can say 1000 crores also. At least become rich in example. नहीं, अभी don't change. You have to decide your business का valuation, not my business का valuation. अभी 1 CR only will be your example. Very. Always remember that think big. If you continuously tell yourself one day I will become the finance minister. Do you ever hear me saying I will become prime minister? Because I know I don't have to become. I know I won't become. To which don't give me reaction by saying, sir, that the finance also you won't. No. The power of manifestation. It is real, bro. It is real. Keep telling yourself. Keep repeating it. You will do it. You will do it. You will do it. In her manifestation, she wants to be owner of a business worth 1 crore. Fantastic. That's the net worth of your warehousing business. Take this 1.5 crore then and give me your warehouse. Supposingly she agrees. That means what have I done? I have taken over the existing warehouse. It's not a new warehouse. Existing warehouse was insufficient. Thus, government brought the section. So then taking over existing warehouse is of no use. Do you understand? That's point G. It should not be amalgamation, merger, takeover. It should not be splitting up or reconstruction of any existing business. Is point G understood? So you already understood why this is not allowed. Because for a business with net worth of 1 crore, if my payment is 1.5 crore, that means net payment is exceeding net asset. Why am I paying that additional 50 lakh rupees? Goodwill, not allowed, no, because you are buying a business. And buying of an existing business, not allowed. Are you understanding? Buying of an existing business is not allowed. Therefore, goodwill not allowed. Understood? So now you know the logic of land and goodwill both, and you've also understood point G. Can I safely say that point G is understood? Logic of land, so long ago you were aware. Logic of goodwill is also clear. Only one thing left. Why we will not get financial instrument. So the story continues. I said, Khushi, take this 1.5 crore for your business whose net worth is 1.5. She's like, no, I don't want to sell. Okay, take 2 crore, which is double of your net worth. She's like, no, I don't want to sell. अरे खुशी से दे रहा हूँ, खुशी, take no please. 3 crore, 3 times of your net worth? No. She is like, I told you, no, I don't want to sell. Don't come again and again. Fantastic. I go to the market and start buying Kushika company shares. One by one. Add bloody hell, whichever price available, every day upper circuit. I don't leave a single share available. When she came to know that I am buying all the shares, she prohibits me from buying her shares. I send my proxies. Proxy, dummy. You understand? People who are going to buy shares on my behalf. Different names. One day I end up acquiring 51% stake in this company, Khushi Warehousing Limited. And now Khushi, get lost. Get lost. Because now I own majority stake in this company. Now I am the owner. I told you to Khushi take. 3 times I offered, no? Still she's like, I don't want to sell. No problem, bro. I took the stake from the market. Am I the owner of the warehousing company? And what claim I make before the world? Hello, dunya walo. Listen, I have made investment in warehousing business. Have I made investment in warehousing? How? By buying shares. Bro, that's not investment. You have to start new warehouse. You have to start new warehouse. Buying existing company ka shares is not meeting the purpose of the section. Hello. मजा आया? And for this reason, what bro? Financial instrument also not allowed. So land ka logic clear? Why not allowed? Goodwill financial instrument clear? Goodwill financial instrument ka logic is hidden in point G. Point G also clear to you, everyone. So it should not be splitting up or reconstruction of any existing business. Fantastic. Let's go ahead. More and more conditions coming up. If you fulfill all the conditions, we will give you deduction of full cost of your asset. Next. Will you need plant and machinery for this new business that you have started? The plant and machinery should be new plant and machinery. Plant and machinery should be new plant and machinery. That means, can I say second hand plant and machinery not allowed? But in this, compared to additional depreciation, there is another twist. Additional means the second hand was not allowed. Here they say, if you have second hand imported plant and machinery, will be considered as new. Therefore, that will be allowed. Logic hai. Everything has logic. You need someone to identify it for. Nothing is bigger than logic. So, kya logic? Sir, understand. Some of the businesses given here are really very, very complicated. Very complicated. They need imported plant and machinery because India does not have that infra. Now, if we import, so we have to make dollar payments, foreign currency payments, which is expensive, and therefore the machinery will become very costly. Not a lot of businesses will be able to afford that. The only way then to reduce your investment, your fixed asset cost is second hand. But if we buy second hand, so we get disqualified, then what's the point? Don't worry. If you import, so we permit second hand also logic. So second hand imported will be as good as new. Correct hai? So ladies and gentlemen, answer fast. New local not allowed. New local allowed. New imported allowed. Second hand imported. Second hand allowed. Why? Imported. Treated as new. That means what is not allowed? Only second hand local. Out of the four possibilities, only second hand local. Correct. This will also be allowed. Huh? Every time I teach this in any batch now, the first reaction of students is ये बिक गई है गवर्नमेंट, ये सारे मिलके हमको पागल बना. You don't know about that auntie? Bro, that auntie is more entertaining than our auntie. I think that was an auntie from Pakistan. It's a Pakistani name. But do one thing, go to any social media platform, preferably YouTube, and Google this. Or YouTube में search bar पे type this. Search. YouTube is owned by Google only. If you type Google पे any video, तो वो videos में you'll get YouTube link. That is correct. But search for this. Government auntie. Government auntie. And just a small suggestion. Use headphones. Use headphones. And even when you use headphones, you are watching now, and you're using headphones. If you have parents, seniors, elders sitting next to you, still keep the screen away from them. Because they can't hear the sound, but they know the lady. So they know what she is speaking. 9 out of 10 people have seen her already. Very entertaining. Very, very educative. What variety of words she will use. You all have seen Aunt Irfan Khan. He had recreated the meme, but original was this. ये सारे मिलके हमको पागल बना रहे dash, but now बस. What the hell is going on? New local allowed. New imported allowed. Second hand imported allowed because considered as new. So at least this should be disqualified. No, bro, this is also allowed, but provided it is up to 20% of your total plant and machinery. Means second hand local cannot exceed 20% of your total, and for the remaining there is no restriction. To understand this condition, I will be doing a numerical example for you. This numerical example will be very, very useful till your next birth. If you're still doing CA, if it still does not get over, you will understand this. And this particular condition, I'll tell you about these two conditions that we have studied here are a part of 35 AD. The same two conditions are also there in 10 AA. What was 10 AA? Special economic zone. In special economic zone, I taught you the quantum of first 10 years. Last 5 years, so I did not. I told you there are some conditions and extra calculation of last 5 years. Don't study at inter. But at final, you'll have to learn all of them. These same two conditions are there in SEZ. There is new taxation regime for companies. The same two conditions are there over there also. There is a section 80 IAC. All this comes in CA final. Deduction for startups. The same two conditions are there as well. So basically, once you understand with numbers at one place, the same condition will repeat again and again and again. Multiple chapters. Hello. And therefore, these numerical examples will be very, very useful. I will be doing with you two examples. Example 1, example 2. New local, 10 lakh. You have to decide, allowed or not. Local. Acha, it has to be within 20. No? Always allowed. Fantastic. Second hand imported. 5 lakh, 3 lakh. Second hand. Huh? Second hand. Acha, within 20% limit. No? Always allowed. Because second hand imported is as good as new. So allowed. Fantastic. Second hand local. 3 lakh, 5 lakh. Initially, we were taught that it is not allowed. But suddenly we have a modification in the law which says we will allow provided it is within the limit, and the limit is 20% of total. So first take the total. What is the total? Which means, 1 minute, let me first clarify. The total will be including the second hand local. All inclusive total. What is the all inclusive total that we have got? 18. What is 20% of 18? 3.6. Now check. Is 3 lakh within 3.6? Arey, what are you thinking? 3 lakh within 3.6? Equal to 3.6 also allowed, huh? Hello? Okay. And what about 5 lakh? No, it is not within the limit. So not eligible for 35 AD. Bro! On this I will take 35 AD, so no depreciation. On this I won't take 35 AD. Why? More than limit. I won't get 35 AD. So what have we been taught? Then you can take depreciation. Understood? So the restriction is only on second hand local equal to 20 of total. Total will be all inclusive, is also allowed. And if it is still more than 20, so that particular asset you can take depreciation. Clear hai everyone? Fantastic. Next point of section 30. Bro, 35 AD is going on. On the same business, you can take 35 AD deduction or 10 AA deduction, any one of them. What is 35 AD? Specified business deduction, capital expenditure. What is 10 AA? Special economics. Anything that I export from SEZ, I get eligibility of 10 AA. First qualifying amount, then 100 or 50. Is it possible that I am doing one of these 14 businesses of export inside from a special economics? I am doing specified business in SEZ. Specified business in SEZ. That means I am eligible for both of them. But I will get only one of them. Same business, you can't be doing 35 AD and 10 AA. Both on the same business, you can take only one. 35 AD or 10 AA, any one of them you can take. Same business, you can take only one of them. Is that clear? As a teacher, I have explained the condition. There came a question in CA final exam. CA final. One question. It had some data about 35 AD. It had some data about 10 AA, special economics. Student, as per what was taught in class, did only one of them. Calculated both and said whichever is higher is allowed. Only one allowed, so you will take the better one only. Better deduction. Both are deductions. Take the better one. Student took only one of them because sir has said only one is allowed. Fantastic. Then suggested answers. In the suggested answer, institute has taken both deductions, 35 AD and 10 AA. That student came running to me. Plus, sir, you taught us any one is allowed. Am I still teaching the same thing? Yes. Sir, in the suggested answer, they have given both. Sir, so because of you, I lost marks. I said, can you bring one stick along with you, please? Focal bamboo. આઉં તો જા કપડા કાઢીને મારી દો થાલી કુલ્લુમ I will beat you to death. I said, remove your clothes. You have seen torture scenes of jail. They make you lie down on an ice slab and then they torture you. I said, I'll do that with you. Because I am responsible for what I speak, not what you interpret. If you have interpretation issues, confirm it. I said, same business, you won't get both. And I am responsible for this statement. In your question, there was one person doing different business. One of the business, the suggested answer took 35 AD. Other business, the suggested answer took 10 AA. I didn't say that one person won't get both. What have I taught? Same activity, you can't take both. In that question, there were two different businesses. Sir, you made a mistake. That's okay. You see exam, people make mistake. But you coming and saying, sir, because of you, I made mistake. then obviously toja kapda kadi mari do, because I am not responsible for that mistake. If you have issues you don't understand, take clarification. I have taught what is the law. I never said one person will not get both. Can one person get both on different businesses? Yes. Same business you can't take both. On different businesses, of course you'll take. Bro, I can have out of 14, 35 AD businesses. I will take 35 AD on all of them. But if one of them is also done in SEZ, then I will do any one of them. But that does not mean that remaining 4 kabhi I will lose. Same business I can't take both. Same person can take both on different business. But then once it happened, you understand professor life. Once one thing like this happens, then in future batches, if one student made an interpretation mistake, then anybody can make that mistake. And this is what experience teaches you. That from today onwards, it is better that you clarify only. Like that thing. No other deduction. Arre, since that day I am clarifying this expense, no other deduction. No other deduction does not mean you take that so you stop getting chapter 6A and house property standard deduction and everything. Because मेरे को बिल्कुल not risk, risks. Ramji Rao speaking. Risks. I don't want any risks. You understand little Hindi? Little? No. Otherwise, believe me, Hera Fairy and Fair Hera Fairy, even if with the subtitles, you should watch. They are must watch. Otherwise, you're missing something majorly in life. Actually, Mirzapur also, but then that is too much of abusive language, too much of violence. Not everyone is comfortable with that. And being from an all-boys school, the more they abuse, the more you like watching. That is a personality trait. But then I can't watch it in front of ma'am because she gets very angry. And definitely not in front of my son because violence is not good. And as far as abusive language is concerned, kids these days are extremely sharp. They pick up words and they start imitating. I don't even know what are the things that he is observing. Because one day it comes in his behavior and then I come to know that he has observed this from me. I am very careful with my words in front of him. As a teacher, I know what word to use. So no matter how much you try, sir, one day you speak that word. No. As long as Bhakti and Adnan are in class, I am very careful with my words. Just a few days ago, I brought him home from school. His school bus came and was not well. I took him home and I have my home keys. So he's like, give me no, I want to open. I have 10 other things to do. 10 kaam hai mere ko, don't waste time. And I opened the door and I told him, go change your clothes fast. Because that day, daddy duties were going on. Arey, 10 kaam hai, don't waste my time. I got angry because actually so many things were going on in my head. Matter over. He got busy with his work. 5 days after that day, again I got him. Again he's like, let me open that. I had forgotten that incident. And he again asked, can I open? So I gave him the key. After he opened, daddy, aaj 10 kaam nahi hai. Bro, he actually picked up that statement. And yet to turn 6 years old. Bro, so you have to be very careful. One word you speak, just imagine, he's speaking. If he heard something from me and then speaking in front of his teachers in school, bro, teacher will remove him and all of us from school. Hai na? So bro, I am very careful with my words. Still, you don't understand, you take clarification. But then what I said was right, fault is yours now. But since that day, I don't want to take any risk. And I make it very clear to you. Same assessee on different businesses, allowed. Same business, not allowed. Is that clear? Next. Are you acquiring an asset and taking full cost as deduction? Then you have to lock in that asset for a minimum period of 8 years. That is, during this 8 years, you cannot sell, transfer, gift, etc. transfer to other business, all that won't be allowed. Otherwise, you are fooling around. Think about it. I have two businesses. Okay? I have one specified business. I have one CA firm. If I buy any asset here, I will get 100% deduction. But if I buy any asset here, I will get only 15% depreciation, 10%, 15%, whatever be the block rate. So very smartly, what I do, I buy an AC for my CA firm. I should get 15% depreciation, but I make payment from here. Because I make payment from here, what happens? 100% deduction, and I install it here. That means I am using it in my specified business. Next year, I bring the AC. That means, bro, you had purchased it for this. That means you have cheated us by taking this deduction. And thus, we make it clear, you won't be allowed to do this for a period of 8 years. That is the meaning of lock-in. For 8 years, you have to keep the asset here in the specified business. Do you understand? Makes sense? But what if? Will there be some people who within the 8 years will transfer? You want to guess what will happen? Try karo. Try karo, let the answer be wrong. See, understand, this line everyone has clearly understood that once I buy an asset for specified business, I have to keep it there. If I take deduction and then I move it, that means I was only manipulating the 100% benefit. But there will be some people who will violate the condition. Move the asset to the other business within 8 years. Sell the asset within 8 years. That's a failure. Of course, you will be punished. Try. How will you be punished? What will be your punishment if you sell your asset or transfer to other business within your period of 8 years? Take that you took when you acquired the asset. Now you have done failure. Refund. Refund also government gives us. Correct the word. You're thinking right, but you're not speaking right. Reverse the deduction. How to reverse a deduction? Deduction is something that I have subtracted from my income. If I have to reverse it, that means I have to add in my net taxable total income. That is, I will have taxable PGBP of what amount? Want to guess? Try karo. You understood what you were thinking is right. But the correct term is pay tax by adding back the deduction of what amount? One second. I have purchased plant and machinery of 10 lakh rupees. In 35 AD, I have taken 100% deduction. Is correct? This 100% deduction is on the condition that I use this asset in this business up to 8 years. If I use up to 8 years, then I don't have to do anything. I've already taken deduction. If within 8 years, I move the business or I move the asset out of this business, so you are till here right that you have to reverse your deduction. That means you have to pay tax. Everyone understand that you have to pay tax because you have violated the condition. Now, please use little common sense and tell me pay tax on what amount. It's very easy. WDV. There is no WDV. You have taken full deduction. Tell me the amount. Supposingly, you have transferred the asset after 1 year. So, what amount you will pay tax? For now, assume non-manufacturing. Warehousing का example I have. Tell me, what amount you will pay tax? Come on. 9 lakh? Wrong. 850. How? Furniture is, plant and machinery is 15. This was not furniture. Furniture hota to 9 lakh would have been correct. Everyone focus. Believe me, I expected from you only 10 lakh as an answer. Actually, 10 lakh is wrong. Correct answer is 850. I'll explain the correct answer. But my expectation was that students will maximum say 10 lakh. Why they will say 10 lakh? That also I will explain with reason. If someone can actually give this answer 8 lakh 50, that means that student deserves an offer. But I did not give any offer. So, abhi you don't get anything. But this is the most appropriate answer that anyone can give. I would have been happy with 10 lakh also, because 10 lakh does not require explanation. The logic is very simple. How much benefit you took when you acquired the asset? Think about it. 100%. Correct, hai? So how much you should pay tax on? 100%. That means, can I say we have to add in NTTI the deduction that we have taken earlier, that is 100%, is what the best answer from a student can be. The deduction taken has to be reversed. Deduction was 10 lakh, so pay tax on 10 lakh is what I expected from you. But what you don't understand is that when I took this deduction, I have also lost something. What? Depreciation. So the net benefit that I have taken is not 100. The net benefit is taken of 100 minus the depreciation foregone. Now, therefore, I told you to assume after 1 year it will be 15. Think about it. First year, I have taken 10 lakh. After 1 year, I would have got depreciation of 15. Hello. But after 2 years, it would have been further 15 of 815. Within 8 years, if I sell, it can be after 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years. So when I take the depreciation foregone, I have to take the total period for which I have used the asset. We assume that the asset was discarded after 1 year. So we will take depreciation only of 1 year, and this amount will be your taxable amount under PGBP. The answer is not 100. What did I expect from you? 100. Is 10 lakh, that is 100% easy to understand. Why, sir? I took how much deduction? 10 lakh. So I should pay tax on 10 lakh because of violation. But I have not taken 10 lakh deduction. I have only taken net benefit. So I will pay tax also on the net benefit. 100 minus depreciation foregone. This will become your PGBP. Is this clear, everyone? And if the asset is transferred to your other business, that means, can I say from today onwards, I will be using my asset in my other business, example CFO. So this amount only you will add to the block. I will explain with numbers. This amount has to be added to the block. I will explain. I have two businesses. I have one specified business. I have one CFO. What is the cost of the asset here? 10 lakh. If I would have taken depreciation, I would have got 1 lakh 50 in this. But in this business, I am taking 35 AD. That means I have taken deduction of full 10 lakh. Correct? So understand the difference between specified and non-specified. In specified, I will take 100%. But in non-specified, we are taking 150, assuming plant and machinery. Had it been, of course, furniture, then this would have been 1 lakh. We know that difference in rate. Correct? If there is violation of lock-in, what will be my taxable amount here? 10 minus this, what I have lost. Assuming I have violated after 1 year, so I will pay tax on 8 lakh 50. This means you have to mentally assume that this asset was actually purchased here. Just imagine if this asset was purchased not year but year, the cost would have been 10 lakh. At the end of year 1, the WDV would have been 8 lakh 50, and this amount we have to add to block because we have now brought the asset here. And by the way, I'll tell you what, when you took deduction of 10 lakh and after 1 year when you are paying tax on 850 only, it means, can I say, assuming that you use the asset here only from the first year, we are giving you net benefit of 150. Think about it. How much deduction you took when you acquired the asset? 10 lakh. And when you violate in reversal, how much you are paying tax? 8 lakh 50, which means we are assuming your asset is here from day one. And 150 ka depreciation we are giving you. And balance 850, you make it a WDV of today's block. And add that amount to today's block. Effectively, what we mean to say is, whatever we pay tax on this side, we will add to the block of the other side. Now see if you understand what we have written here. If you acquire any asset for specified business, and take the benefit of 35 AD, you have a lock-in period of 8 years. You cannot sell your asset for a period of 8 years. You cannot transfer to your other business for a period of 8 years. If you do, you will have to reverse. Reverse what? Understood? Reverse what? Deduction. How to reverse a deduction? By paying tax. But I won't pay tax on the full. You have to imagine that day one it was used in the other business. That means you would have been eligible for depreciation to pay tax on the net amount. Assuming that we are taking depreciation deduction, and that amount on which you have to pay tax, that only you consider as the WDV for adding in the block of the other business. Now this will go in a block by block basis because it is a non-specified business. Understood? So the amount taxable here will become the amount of WDV added in the block. Everyone understood? Fantastic. The next 3 points that we have, K, L, M, are actually not points of PGBP chapter. These 3 points, that is K, L, M, are from a chapter called set off and carry forward of losses, which is in the agenda. After 5 heads, we have clubbing set of deductions to complete our entity. You may not fully understand these points right now. I'll try my level best that you understand. But it is likely that certain things are not clear. If by chance you don't understand any of the points here, give yourself and myself the benefit of doubt that complete clarity will come after that chapter, because actually these rules are not written here. They are written where? In set off. But these 3 points are actually about 35 AD business. In set off chapter, they have spoken about 35 AD. So because they are related, we are writing it directly here. Understood? What are the 3 points? Can there be loss in specified business? You clear about that amount to be added and tax? No, 100% no doubt. Can there be loss in specified business? Mitra, listen. In your accounts, there may or may not be loss. But in tax computation, there will be a loss only. First, understand the statement that I am making. Understanding is more important. I repeat the statement. In accounts, there may or may not be a loss. But in tax, there will be loss. Think, digest, and give me reason. In accounts, we will only charge, excellent, in accounts, we will only charge depreciation. But in tax computation, we will minus the cost of asset, and which will make the answer negative. So, will tax show a loss? Normally, we set off our losses, but this loss can be adjusted only against any specified business profit. What do? We adjust losses against profits and pay tax on the net amount, but these losses will be adjusted only against specified business profit. Logic. Logic. I buy AC in specified business minus the cost of the AC, so my specified business will show a loss because of minusing of fixed asset price. If I adjust this loss against my other business, it simply means that AC ka deduction I am taking against other business. But that is non-specified business. So you can't take specified business ka deductions which are making it a loss against your normal businesses, and therefore this loss will be minused or adjusted only against which profit? Specified. Does that make sense to you? Believe me, if it is making sense to you, either you are too talented or I am too talented, or maybe both. But normally people don't understand this point before the chapter set off. Set off means adjustment. Specified loss, normal profit, not allowed to adjust. Why, sir? Because this means specified ka expenses you are minusing here. Not allowed. So if not allowed against normal, I will have to carry forward. For future adjustment, I will get unlimited period of carry forward. Just for your general knowledge, if in business I suffer loss, I will adjust against profit of future. We are allowed only 8 years. Kaise pata? Graduation. Vishari. 2 more questions I ask you? No. Normally, listen, knowledge ke liye orally I am telling you, set off I will do writing like everything else. Business losses can be carried forward for 8 years. But here, this is specified business and we are not adjusting against other activities. So we have to wait for this business to reflect profits. Maybe when we stop buying fixed assets. Till that time you carry forward 8 years or 80 years, no problem. Because other places we are not allowing you to adjust, no? So unlimited carry forward. And third, only and only you will get carry forward only and only if you file your income tax return ROI on time within the due date. The due date of filing income tax return is given under section 139 subsection 1. If you are ever asked what is 139.1, 139.1 is basically John. Orally again I am telling you. One day we will do the return filing chapter. When your previous year gets over, you are earning income, but you have to communicate to the income tax department. In the assessment year, you will calculate and communicate. Anybody who does international transactions is covered under transfer pricing, so you have to do it till November. Anybody who does only domestic transactions but is covered under audit, so October, and other people July. Means one person only one due date will be applicable. Your due date can be July, mine can be October, your can be November. But there cannot be multiple due dates on one person. You see, international, then November, others not applicable. Audit, then October, others not applicable. And then nothing to July. So that means one of the due dates will be applicable to me. For filing income tax return in the assessment year, I have to file my return on time within the due date. If I miss the due date, we have a concept called belated return, filing late. I won't get carry forward. If you want to carry forward your losses for adjustment against future profits, file your return on time. If you miss your due date, you will lose carry forward. And what is 139.1? The due date. 3 due dates, but 3 don't apply to one person. One person, one due date. But common में there are 3. Any one of the 3 can be applicable to you. What are they? John. These 3 points are from your chapter set off and carry forward of losses, which you may or may not understand right now. If you understand, fair enough, nothing like that. But if you don't, give yourself the benefit of doubt. It is okay to not understand it right now. Everyone is clear. Specified loss only against specified profit, but unlimited carry forward only if you file your return on time. And further discussion will be done again in set off chapter, again in return filing chapter also, if you understand, because that chapter will teach us due dates. But then you should know what is 139.1, because in PGBP itself it will come couple of times more. What is 139.1? Due date of filing return of income. 3 due dates given in the law. John. 1 applies to 1 person. 3580 that way is over. Nothing else is left. 1 point is left. Otherwise 3580 that way is over. 1 point. You want to guess? Sir, what are those 14 businesses? Sir, warehousing was agriculture. Warehousing of agriculture was example. What are those 14 specified businesses? Do you understand? Without knowing what are those 14 specified businesses, how can we solve a question? We only know warehousing. So last point, 14 specified businesses. I am going to be doing the list with you of the 14 specified businesses. After this section will get over, and we'll quickly revise all the conditions that we have studied. What are the 14 businesses? Everyone with me? Now, which means that I am going to be doing with you a list. They weren't 14 when I was a student or I started teaching. They were 9 or 10, then they became 12, then they made it, then they became 11, then they became 13, then they added 1, 14. They have gradually added businesses here. But that last business also, almost 6-7 years, more than that, in fact, 8 years since they have added the last 14th business. And in 8 years, batch after batch, inter and final, 35 AD, 35 scientific research and 32 depreciation are the most important sections of entire PGBP. Size wise also, if you observe, they are big. If we remove these 3, 50% of PGBP is gone. So batch after batch, year after year, attempt after attempt, I have been doing this list. Somewhere in my subconscious brain, this list is already stored, like the rest of your income tax syllabus, like the examples, like the logic. Whenever there is a change in law, yes, I do have to study that change in law at least before the first time I am teaching that section to someone. For example, new section is introduced, and after that I am taking the first lecture as per the new budget. It can be interfinal, whatever. I have to go through that section properly. In fact, my homework means first understand what is the amendment, create an example, then sit with a blank page on the tab. Blank page. And whatever I have studied as the amendment with an example which I created, write it. Because in class, my style is to write anything. I can't be opening the PDF of that amendment and showing you this is the amendment, this is the amendment. First batch I do it, I practice it. If I make a mistake, I restart and do it again. Because your passing is 50, mine is 100. I make one mistake now. You will not remember what we did for 160, 70 hours. Human nature is to only remember what someone could not do for you. No one remembers what someone did for you. Human nature, acceptable part of your life. So I can't take that chance. And if you think that I am good, it is because I have practiced on a blank paper, which is why again and again say that writing practice, blank paper. So I practice. After practicing, if I feel that I need to do it one more time because I have to be perfect, once I do it in the first batch, I get the confidence. Then I don't have to go through also. Something as simple as your 2024 ka budget, applicable for your exam. But on your budget, I have already taken 2 batches of inter, 1 batch of final. Between July and when I started with it. So then for that reason, for me, it becomes very, very easy because I have that writing practice already. Once you have the writing practice now, this is my exam. I am perfect. Having said that, I am beyond that stage of teaching your batch where I have to prove to you that I know the list by heart. Because it is not this list. It is the income tax law. I don't need material except doing the question. Most of the questions ka answers also I know. But questions at least I have to open to make you to solve. So do we have to learn the list? Now let me honestly admit it. Though not 14, maybe single digit, but when I gave the exam, there was 35. I did not know the list by heart as a student of CA Inter or Final. I started teaching initial few years, 2, 3 years, 3, 4 years. I did not know anything by heart. Before every lecture, I had to do some self-study, some homework because I was doing oral study and written class. One day when I got the trick that the study should not be oral, it should be one writing practice by you before taking the lecture. Since that day, first of all, I no longer have to study the existing book before taking any lecture. An amendment also before the first batch of that amendment. I got the trick here. So as a student, I did not memorize this list. Now don't take this as, sir, that means we don't help. Matlab ye conclude karo na, sir, that we don't have to learn. Now see, this is PGBP. Try to learn. I say this despite me, myself not learning. Even if you don't learn, it is okay. If I give you 4 businesses and tell you, identify out of them which one is specified with. 3 will be wrong, 1 will be correct. Can you choose? Can you just say yes or no? If I give you 4, out of which 3 are specified and 1 is not, can you identify which one is that? If I give you a list of 10 businesses, 15 businesses, in that, can you choose yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 no, no, no? Can you choose specified, non-specified? Objective question. If I say warehousing of agriculture produce, so are you able to say yes? But if I say warehousing of motorcycle, are you able? I am not yet done the list. But yes, it is not there. Will you be able to say no? Will you be able to answer the question in a yes or no for specified or non-specified? You don't reproduce the list by yourself. Chalo, no problem. but at least enough number of readings that yes or no at least you can answer is what you should do at least. Even if you don't memorize by heart, because your exam question will be, Mr. X is engaged in the business of warehousing of agriculture produce. He incurs the following expenses during the year. They'll give you the amount of profit before taking deduction of the capital expense. So take the profit and minus the cost of it because it is 35 AD. And then they will ask you part 2. What will be your answer if this is warehousing of motorcycle? Still take the profit, still take the capital expense, but don't minus full amount, minus the depreciation. So if it is specified, this is the answer. Not specified, this is the answer. They will give you the name of the business. You should be able to identify yes specified, no specified, not specified. If you do that much, so my expectation is that much can we expect. So fantastic. You don't put efforts in learning the list, but at least still understand all the businesses here. So I am going to do one by one the businesses. Discuss the business. Discuss a little about the nature of business. Discuss the relevance. Ultimately, if a business is falling here, that means government is encouraging this business. Do you agree with that? Why can I say government is encouraging this business? Because the government is giving you 100% deduction of your capital expense. That means there is some importance also. Now, we don't have to get into the detailed operations of the business. Sir, how can I start this business? Sir, where will I get funds from? That is not a part of this section. Still, we will discuss more than what any other CA student or coaching class is discussing. Our discussion is still more than that. But of course, we are not going to discuss operations of the business. Ultimately, we are only here to learn the tax effect. What are these businesses? One by one. First, warehousing of agricultural produce, which we also took as example. Minimum selling price. Well, government is paying the farmers and destroying the wheat. So we need warehouses, invest in this and take 100% deduction. Next, cold chain facility. Hey, put it in fridge. That is not cold chain. In case it is not clear, we are talking about cold storage facility. And as a clarification, cold storage facilities also exclude mortuaries. Just in case it was not clear, mortuary stored, morgue they store. वैसा they show no in movies वो drawer type of a place. Then from there some smoke is coming out when the drawer opens. That is not how mortuaries work. Huh? By the way, movies show nonsense. It's basically a AC hall. ACs are on and the dead body is lying everywhere. That is how real mortuaries are in case it was not clear. And if your question is, sir, how do you know? यही काम है क्या? Some 2 years ago, one of our faculty friends and good family friend also from Kolkata came to take lectures in Pune. Revision lecture, marathon type of lectures before exam, April के month. He was staying in a hotel. Next morning was his lecture, and he was supposed to from Pune come to Mumbai. He had booked our classroom for his Mumbai ka 1-day marathon. And being a family friend, I had said that I will come to the class and you have to come home. Dinner will be with me. And he said, I'll come next time because immediately after my marathon, I have my return flight to Kolkata. Family friend because ma'am and his sister from first standard to CA final have studied together. First standard to CA final have been classmates, best of friends. So it is like a brother. And believe me, our classroom was booked. It was Sunday. I had only booked because I said my family friend. Admin में से ma'am calls me in the morning. One of the biggest shock of my life. Ma'am broke the news to me. Even his family was not aware. My family was not aware. Sir lost his life in drowning because before going for the lecture, he was just relaxing in the pool over there. There was no lifeguard. And believe me, we lost. And we had plans of having dinner together. We had to actually rush to Pune for doing the paperwork because his family coming from Kolkata, still couple of people left, but somebody from here who could reach faster. We left immediately, ma'am and myself. Of course, we were doing all the paperwork. And there was this area beyond which they were not letting people go. It was just post-COVID period. April 2022 it was. Pune's biggest government hospital, Sasun Hospital करके, you are aware of that? Sasun Hospital. For some reason, that mortuary ka guy called me. They have this system that they want to make you wait. Finally, you have to tell them, bro, mera thoda fast karna. Because they had already booked the return flight. And when you have to take a body back home in a flight, there are multiple paper requirements which the airline wants, which the government wants. There are some processes that you have to do. You have to remove all the blood from the body. Embalming is a process. And you have to insert a chemical. There is a coffin certificate required that it will be wrapped in plastic. Because normal passengers, if suddenly the casket opens, if the coffin opens, they will get scared. And for that reason, we told him, please do it fast. He called me, sir, idhar aao. Inside he called me because basically government hospital staff. So you understand the purpose why he called me inside. Sir, I'll do your paperwork fast. I made the mistake of entering the room. And believe me, I see dead bodies everywhere. Not that I have never seen a dead body in my life. But I have not seen 50, 100 lying together like that. And I am mentally and physically very strong. Very, very, very strong. But I couldn't sleep for 2 days. Because every time I was trying to sleep, that's the only scene that came before me. More than 50, of course I did not count individually, more than 50 for sure. Which is when I realized all those movies showing those separate individual drawers. That's all drama, bro. They're just lying like that. And finally, when he brought on a stretcher outside, he called, check kar lo. Is it your guy or no? We will not be responsible once you take it. You have to sign that the body that we have taken is our relative. Once you take him from here, we are not responsible. Because they also don't know, so many lying. And of course, the bodies don't, you can't ask them what is your name. The relative has to come and identify. No. They are only keeping them in an AC room, nothing else. Smell, not inside the room, but outside the room, few meters away from the room, is unbearable. Blood inside the room everywhere. Because what was that room for? To remove the blood from the body and insert the chemical. So what do you do? What do you think? They clean it after every procedure? Of course they don't. Government hospital. So that is how mortuaries function, in case you were not aware. We are not talking about mortuaries. Cold storage, what kind of storage? There are some products like fish and fish products, meat and meat products, which require cold storage. If they are not stored appropriately, obviously they won't be consumable. Are you with me? So that cold storage also requires a certain degree of infra that is going to be 100% deduction of capital expenditure. Everyone is with me? Listen. Now to this you can't react. No, sir, I am vegetarian. So why you are giving fish and fish? I think, bro, see, are your food grains covered? So this is also food grain for someone. This is food for someone. We can have endless arguments on the fact that you should go vegan or no. Honestly speaking, today the most developed countries, the people who are taking care of their health, who are conscious about their body, are not just going vegetarian, they are going something called vegan. They are also all types of milk products they have decided to quit. Milk in any form, that is called vegan. And startup culture, bro, now they have vegan ice cream, vegan cakes, vegan pastries made with non-milk base. We can have endless argument about which food preference is the best, but at the same time, let us not forget we are living in a democracy. You are free to follow what you want. I am free to follow what I want. If I know that I can exercise control on someone, I can convince that person for one thing or the other. But you can't be exercising your control or trying to convince everyone that you meet around. People will start throwing stones at you. Obviously, no. So whoever I can convince, I convince to go vegetarian. Whoever I cannot, I don't even put any effort over there. Very simple. One day, one friend whom I could have some bold conversation with, I said, why do you eat non-veg food? What fun do you get? Why? To which he gave an answer with logic. He says, it is the ecosystem, sir. It works like that only. It is the ecosystem. What is wrong in that? There has to be some logic. No? I just wanted to know your POV. To each his own. So if your food grains are covered, they are food for someone else. Let us not sit and argue. You do what you want, I do what I want. I have no problem, whatever you consume. Don't expect me to share it with you, as simple as that. And don't expect me to sit on the same table also. That I cannot. You do what you want, bro. Your life, your family, your family. Sorry, your life, your food choice, your personal choice. Simple. Hai? So let's not get into the argument of I don't consume meat and meat products or fish and fish products. This is for whomsoever it may apply. So warehousing of agriculture produce, cold chain facility. Next, production of fertilizers. Fertilizers improve agriculture productivity. So if used in proper quantity and good quality, this can improve agriculture. And let us accept the fact that when I was in the second standard, I must be in the second standard how many years ago? कैसे है? 18. Second standard 7 years. So 11 years ago. When I was in the second standard, okay, 29 years ago, India का 70% of GDP was agriculture. So bro, in 3 decades, nothing has changed. India is still heavily dependent on agriculture. So we need to improve the productivity of agriculture. Do you understand? For that, we need good quality fertilizers. Anybody making fertilizers will be eligible for. Don't forget, in the list of businesses in the whole chaos, don't forget, this is 35 AD. So 100% deduction of capital expense. Next, a hospital. Now, hospital is one business which does not require explanation of meaning or logic of giving tax benefit. You understand? But of course, it has to be with minimum 100 beds. I never asked this, no? Anyone has doctor at home? Doctor, no one, no? Who? Bro, mama. In my personal life is bad debt written off. Bad debt written off. Not having a mama is much better than having mama like. So let's not get into that. Doctors are very smart. Believe me, they are smarter than us. Okay. They came to know that income tax has some setting. That if my hospital has minimum 100 beds, I will be eligible for capital expense deduction. So doctor purchased one big hall. In that, he has put a partition wall. Here there is a proper bed. You know, hospital beds, you can increase the height, decrease the height, you can change the slope, the incline, the decline, you can slope, you can change the direction based on the comfort level of the patient. These days, latest hospital beds are also stretchers. They have wheels attached. So the moment they want to take you to the OT, they just take you along with your full bed. So here there is a bell which the patient required, the oxygen machine, all the facilities. It's a proper bed. Correct? Hai? Everyone? Now this is empty space. First of all, with one bed, will the doctor get tax benefit? It is like a private dispensary. But outside the dispensary, the doctor has put a board. What's your mama's name? What are you thinking? Narayan. Dr. Narayan Hospital. It's a clinic, but what is he calling it? Hospital. He has only one bed. It is hospital, but one bed is not enough. So he gives the patient an idea. See, in India, when a patient gets admitted in the hospital, especially if he belongs to my community, don't know about yours. In our community, Marwadis, if one patient is admitted, no, the whole community will come to meet you. It is peer pressure, believe me. That if you don't go to meet people in the hospital, people won't come to meet you. And the visiting hours of hospitals, if believe me, if a Marwadi patient is admitted, the visiting hours are worse than fish market. Everyone is discussing what is happening in Indian cricket, what is happening with gold market, what is happening with share market, what is happening with diamond market, what is happening with metal market, what is happening with patient, nobody is discussing. And unless and until the security comes and throws them out, they refuse to leave. Doctor came to know that in Marwadi community, this is how it happens. So he has this open space. So what he does is, he spreads some mattresses over there. Between every mattress, he has put some playing cards and some hookahs, so that patients have motivation and their relatives. He said 99 beds I have put here. People can come and stay. You can play cards, have hookah. You want more facilities, I will arrange for you. And with this one patient bed and these 99, the doctor is now eligible for 35 AD deduction. Because we live in a country called India, everything has to be clarified. Bro, this is India. In any other country, you don't have to clarify. That when we say 100 beds means we are talking about patient beds, not the attendant beds. But no, we are Indians. Bro, we don't want to know the law. A particular typical Indian tendency. So if this is the law, oh, so if I do this, so will I be able to evade what is written in the law? You first want to get ideas. Simple law, no one wants to learn. Almost. I know you are praying for me to fall. Hai You only. Minimum 100 beds for dogs. She said patient. Okay. No, of late your behavior is that you need to get admitted. Believe me. And वो ब्रेन के डॉक्टर को क्या बोलते हैं? न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट. I know some of the good neurologists of the city. नहीं? So you can say anything. When someone can say 10 minus 8 equal to 8, then you get all the freedom of saying anything that you want. Anything. Anything. You say anything. हाँ डॉक्टर माचिस वाला फेमस डॉक्टर है तो ब्रो होगा टू हेल्प विथ हिम वेदर इट इज माचिस वाला और कैंडल वाला और बॉटल वाला डजंट मैटर ब्रेन का है हाँ तो यू ऑल्सो गो you understood the logic of having 100 beds of patients. We have to clarify. If you have such a hospital, you will be eligible for 35 AD deduction. Everyone is with me? Next, the business of providing affordable housing. See, housing is expensive, but there are some organizations which provide affordable housing. For example, in Maharashtra, we have an organization called MAHADA, Maharashtra Housing and Development Authority. MAHADA, you have heard? In Ahmedabad, they have AUDA, Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority. There is something called DADDA, Delhi Development Authority. There is something called JADDA, Jodhpur Development Authority. Then there is Chandigarh also, but there is Chandigarh Development Authority, but it's okay. Affordable housing. See, MAHADA ka will take as an example. MAHADA we take as an example. Okay. If a normal 3 BHK, 2 BHK house in Mumbai is costing 3 crore rupees, in Mahada building it will be only like 40-50 lakh rupees. Mahada ka housing is very, very cheap. But there are not enough houses available because it is available at a low price. So if there are 200 houses, there will be 10 lakh people who will bid for that house. Then they have to draw chits. And Mahada is basically lottery system. If the house gets allocated, you have to pay the price. We want more and more organizations providing affordable housing. Housing is becoming expensive. Government wants that housing becomes available to you at an affordable price, because if housing is not available and people sleep on footpath, then film stars will come and kill them. Drivers. Okay. So any organization providing affordable housing is going to be eligible for, bro, 35 AD. Don't forget, in all this process we are doing 35 AD. Next, the business of slum redevelopment. IYKYK. Tada. Slum redevelopment. Ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Slum redevelopment. Slum redevelopment. You know India's financial capital? Mumbai. Fantastic. You know Asia's largest slum? Dharavi, which happens to be in Mumbai. Achha, by the way, I say Asia's largest because I am 100% sure. I have no idea about some African countries. It is likely it can probably be world's largest as well. But Asia's largest for sure. The condition is so bad, that Dharavi has become the image of Mumbai city. Now, you don't know this because Mumbai is very big. You stay in different parts of Mumbai. You have got no idea about what other people think about Mumbai. When I used to take lectures in Kerala, understand what is the image of a Mumbai guy in Kerala. Kerala, Malayalam movie superstar Mr. Mohanlal has acted in few Hindi movies as well. Mohanlal sir once acted in a movie which showed Mumbai, and it showed Dharavika slums. And the condition became so bad, believe me, if thereafter a Mumbai guy went and told someone in Kerala, sir, where are you from? I said, Mumbai. Dharavi is also that Malayalam accent in which they talk about. Dharavi. Dharavi is not Mumbai. Dharavi is an area in Mumbai, is a locality in Mumbai. Mumbai is not Dharavi. Mumbai is very big, bro. So yes, there is a company that has been awarded the contract of Dharavi redevelopment. Any guesses? Me. Adani. Adani took the contract of Dharavi redevelopment. Now, what is typically his business? He will demolish all the slums. It's a big land parcel. It's one of the biggest areas possible. He will construct proper buildings, give that place to the slum dwellers. He'll get more empty land because see, slums are only one slum at a place. One building he can probably accommodate 100, 200 slum people. So there will be another part which will be open land. There he can make his own buildings and sell to whomsoever he wants. That contract was given to Adani. Now if you think, sir, Adani is so powerful, wait until you come to know what this gentleman called Ambani is. This section will prove to you, this section, Ambani is Ambani, bro. Anybody tries to do anything to Ambani, bro, he is going to finish your existence. Finish your existence. Ambani, richest man of India. About 6-7 years ago, for a matter of 2 days, the owner of Sun Pharmaceuticals, Mr. Dilip Sangvi, happens to be Guju again. He, market capitalization of Sun Pharma increased. So for a couple of days, he became richest man in India. That means Ambani became second. And once that happened, Enforcement Directorate, FEMA, etc., all agencies behind Sun Pharma, he is nowhere to be seen also. How dare you compete with Ambani? Post-COVID, this gentleman dared to compete with Ambani and became richest man in India. And then came Hindenburg, bro. Adani is not to be seen anywhere because he tried to mess with Ambani. Adani is now not even competing in conducting his son's wedding. He is not even competing with the grand scale of Ambani, because if he dares to compete, again there will be trouble. So you think that Adani is misusing 35 AD? Wait until you come to know what Ambani has done. Wait. But yes, for the time being, our conclusion is any slum redevelopment. You understand the scale of capital expense, demolish the slums, construct the building, full deduction. Business of slum redevelopment, 35 AD. Yes, with redevelopment of Dharavi being awarded to Adani, he will be taking the tax benefit here. But if you think Adani is big, wait. You just wait and watch. Okay. For now, is this understood? Slum redevelopment? Fantastic. Next, the business of beekeeping and honey making. See, this is not that honey which you are trying to make in college and it is not happening. You know honey bee, the process of extraction of honey, shahad, mud. What do you call in Malayalam honey? Honey, tel. We call oil. You call honey tel? No problem. So what do you do? Honey को ऐसे लेके you? No. Okay, honey is called tel. ठीक है, but honey is tel. No problem. You know what is honey. So do you know honey has medicinal properties? Do you know that honey is a good substitute for sugar? Sugar is poison. If you want to take care of your health and don't want to be weak 10 years, 15 years from today. If one regret is that I started investment very late in my life, another regret is that I started taking care of my health very late last year. Because till the time COVID came, it was like, bro, all my students are, almost my age, somewhere elder than me. Like I still have lots and lots of time in my life. 5 years ka rough patch came where most lectures were online, etc. Suddenly post-COVID I resume and walk into an inter class. That student is 15, 16 years younger than me. Because student remains 18 at inter. And I am continuously increasing. But 1 year after that, and today, it is divided by 2. Bro, I will become outdated in a way. It can't be like that. Wait, I'll show you what I regret that I did very little. If you want to take care of your health, quit sugar. And abhi, when tea that I bring gets over and I still have more problem, so I have to order for that. That is the limited sugar consumption at home, or the tea that I carry with myself. It is all without sugar. Someone asked me, sir, you have diabetes. No, I don't want diabetes. As simple as that. Invest in your health. That is your best investment. Sugar is poison. Lots of medicines have bitter taste. So how to make them drinkable? Mix sugar. Lol. They have to add honey. It is required for medicine. Because none of the boys are married, so they don't know that once you get married, you will be forced to drink green tea. And green tea ka problem, I'll tell you. When you bring the cup near, those fumes enter your nose. Like literally, the system is in one sip. These days, I think one new flavored green tea, masala flavored that thing. What do you call? What they call it? Herbs green tea. It tastes like jaljeera powder. That's good. But do you know honey flavored green tea also comes? to make the taste bearable without flavoring. Believe me, alcohol is much better than green tea in taste. Believe me, it is horrible, it is bitter unless it is flavored. So that is also solving the problem. Medicines may we are mixing, that is also solving the problem. So thus, we want to encourage the business of beekeeping and honey making. And how are we encouraging the business of beekeeping and honey making? Honey, honey making by granting 35 AD deduction. Is that clear? Understood? Fantastic. Next, setting up a semiconductor wafer fabrication unit. Bro, let me make it clear. It is not water. First time when that business was entered, I was also confused. I thought it must be water fabrication. It was wafer. And second, now that you know it is wafer, it is not your lace. What is this wafer fabrication unit? What is a semiconductor? You know, there is something called good conductor, bad conductor, bus conductor. Good, no, just in case it is not clear. He allows you to board the bus from the front gate, so good conductor. Chi. Listen, electricity ka. Good conductor, bad conductor. Do you know that salt water is good conductor of electricity? No? Watch Three Idiots movie, you'll come to. Do you know human body is good conductor of electricity? If someone is stuck in an electric pole, don't try to pull that person out. You will also get stuck. Good number of Bollywood movies on this. There was a movie called Hangama. That last scene, where one by one, at least 10-15 people are stuck in a line. हाँ वो है ना आनंदीलाल काटपिटिया. That is classic movie once again if you have seen matlab. Or probably students of Mumbai also know Boli Beta. What tubelight? You know this much that human body passes electricity. Good conductor. If we talk about bad conductors, wood, rubber, etc., bad conductor. By chance someone is stuck at an electric pole. You don't pull that person with human body. You use a stick. Hit that person until the person gets separated. And by chance the person gets separated, but you still have something left in you. You keep hitting. Keep hitting. Oh bro, I was only trying to protect you. Sorry, sorry. Laga tha. Listen. But the electronic devices that we use, the TV, fridge, AC, washing machine, they have a circuit which is made of semiconductor. Semiconductor is a filter with brain. The semiconductor will take power from the plug, supply the power required to the device, and if there is voltage fluctuation, it will consume the excess. Because plug point voltage fluctuates. And therefore, every device, electronic device, has this semiconductor. If we have a good conductor, so it will give all the electricity, and in times of spike in the voltage, it will damage your product. If it's a bad conductor, it won't allow any electricity for function. We need a semiconductor. Semiconductor will take power from the source, supply to the extent required, and throw the excess. Do you understand? Everyone? So that semiconductor is required for every electronic device. If there is no semiconductor, there won't be any electronic device. And if there is no electronic device, you and me won't be sitting here. We will have to go and meditate in the Himalayas. These semiconductors cannot work unless they undergo this fabrication. So you have to put a chemical on them, install various parts, install something called a circuit. You see that fridge ka circuit comes, washing machine ka circuit comes. In our computers, we have something called a motherboard, which is basically the circuit. That is wafer. The installation is called wafer fabrication. And that business is making sure that you and me are functioning in our daily lives, and accordingly, that business will be eligible for 35 AD deduction. I hope you are understanding what is happening. We are giving deduction of capital expenditure in these 14 specified businesses. Bro, everyone is following what is happening now. Fantastic. Next, business number 9. Laying and operating a slurry pipeline for transportation of iron ore. Iron ore, huh? Not तेरी ओर तेरी ओर. अरे ये भी I saw meme on this. पता है? That two friends were discussing, two toppers were discussing. The answer was iron ore or aluminium ore, and my answer was तेरी ओर तेरी ओर. No? Okay, forget it. Iron ore. If you remove iron from the ore, iron ore, what are you left with? Good. Correct. Not funny. If you remove iron from iron ore, what is remaining is ore. Check. Iron ore. You remove iron. So what is left? Ore. As funny as it may sound, but that's the truth. Iron ore is a natural resource where we are doing mining. That's the raw material. This raw material iron ore is going to be put in a machine. This is 8th standard science, blast furnace. It will put in this machine where we heat it to 1000 degrees. So we are putting the iron ore here, and this machine is producing my finished product called iron. Iron is my finished product. Ore is my raw material. And after removing the iron, there will be some waste also that will come out. That waste, believe me, it's not funny, it's called ore. So the raw material is iron ore. The finished product is iron, and the waste is ore. This waste has to be properly disposed. If you dispose this just outside your factory in the open, then the government will shut down your factory. So every day you will have to call for a truck which is going to accumulate your waste. Will take this waste outside the city, somewhere here where government has permitted to dispose the waste, and take from you loading charges, transportation charges, unloading charges, and next day will come and take charges again. One day if the truck does not come, so you have to accumulate waste of 2 days, because you can't discard them improperly, otherwise your factory will close. Bro, this much care you are not taking of your iron, jitna you are taking for the waste, plus the overhead cost. I'll give you another idea. Is this the place where government permits disposal of ore? I give you this offer that I am going to install an underground pipeline here. One end of the pipeline will be connected to the place where disposal is allowed, and second end of this pipeline I will join it to your factory outlet, the place from where the waste is coming. So you take care of your iron, and the waste will go and find its own way underground pipe. Do you like the offer? You don't have to coordinate with the truck driver every day, pay him on a daily basis. Just pay our monthly rental of using the pipeline. Do you like this? So that you can focus on your core business of iron. But if you want this, someone has to make the pipeline. Connect the pipeline. One end where government permits, other end in your factory. Do you understand the capital expenditure? Dig the roads, lay the pipe, connect at the two ends, and then re-level the roads. Massive capital expense, 100% deduction. Not to the iron manufacturer, hello. The pipeline manufacturer, the pipeline maker, laying and operating a slurry pipeline for transportation of iron ore. You understand what is happening here? Now, we have discussed about this business more than anybody else. So now, you can't be saying, sir, but then this pipeline is made of aluminium, iron, bauxite. Sir, we are not actually starting the business. I hope you understand. We just need to understand why we are giving tax benefit, because this person who is laying the pipeline is reducing the overhead cost of the iron business on a day-to-day basis, the transportation, the waste disposal is automatically taken care of. You understand? So the person who is laying down the pipes is the person who is going to be eligible for this deduction. ये clear है? Yes, please. Don't do it in the name of this business. Do it in the name of another business, and that other business which has laid down the pipeline will be eligible. Followed? Clear hai? Chalo. Next, the business of ICDCFS. Because custom law is not applicable, you probably not heard about it. But one day when you will learn customs, you will come to know about this. Inland Container Depot or Container Freight Station. Container Freight Station. You know of railway station, bus station? Sir, what is container station? Let us understand. What is this business called? ICDCFS. What is this business called? ICDCFS. Everyone is with me? Supposingly, I want to import goods. For example, my brother-in-law is importer of aluminium. 40-50 tons he imports per month. 1 ton means 50,000 kgs. So 50 tons is 50,000 kgs. And per kg he has a margin of, if I am not wrong, at least 300-400 rupees per kg ka margin between what he is purchasing and what is the market price here in India. Massive margin. But this 50,000 kg, he can't get on an airplane. He has to order this to this overseas supplier. That supplier will first take the money, then load your goods in something called a container. And that container will be loaded in a ship. And that ship will come to India, deliver the container. And ship will go away. See, problem is that train and flights and buses have fixed dates and time of their station arrival. They are delayed sometimes or limited. In water transport, especially international water transport, you never know. They give you expected date. The ship can come early or late. You remember continuous discharge certificate? CDC. So, of course, full form I gave you. So, what you are doing great thing by saying CDC? The container has come. You'll get a call from the shipping company. But you are not available. You are somewhere out for 7 days. So you tell them, Acha, shipping company will not wait for 7 days. They will put your container and leave. Now just imagine they are just leaving it and going. So bro, all the goods will be stolen. Now you have made foreign currency payment. You have spoiled Indian rupee, balance of payments, all macroeconomic problems. And what if the goods get stolen? There will be a company which will be given. Supposingly this is the water border of the country. Here is the port. There will be a company which will be given this port area. You have to take care. All the containers will be unloaded here. They will lie here till the time the owner does not come to receive it. You have to take care. Companies are handed over ports. Mundra port, for example, is no longer Mundra port, by the way. It is Adani port. Mundra, you have taken the name. Adani port. You have to take care of the container and you can take charges per day. Because there will be lots and lots of people coming for late collection. Now, once you come and tell the company, this is my container, you can't take it. There will be a custom office here. You have to tell the custom office what goods you have imported. Declare the goods. Applicable custom duty you have to pay. Then he will give clearance. Then this company will release your goods. There are some people who are caught doing wrong declarations. The custom officer does something called detention of your container. Till the time the case will go on, your container will stay here. At your cost, you have to pay everyday detention charges to the company running the port. Monopoly hai. So this company which is running the port is running something called a container depot. Think about it. Like we have bus depot. Container station means all the containers will come and stay here till the time the owner comes and shows his ownership by showing the invoice of that overseas supplier and gets custom clearance. And for this work also we have specific people. They are known as custom house agents, CNF clearing and forwarding agents. Sometimes we send them on our behalf. We are not available, still they will go and do our paperwork. But still we have to pay some charges to the company. You understand what is ICD-CFS? And once again, your brain is telling you, sir, Adani everywhere. है ना? Hello, ICD-CFS. So once again, Adani is taking the benefit. Correct? So you saw two places where Adani is taking benefit. Sir, what are the two places where Adani is taking the benefit? Slum redevelopment and ICD. Wait until any song that you know where one person proves to the other that baap baap hota hai, something like that. Tata tata baap ban, kota kota baap ban, something. Wait, let Ambani enter the scene. But I guess as of now, Adani has got two beneficial companies or two beneficial businesses. For now, we go ahead. A hotel, bro. Hotel का meaning or logic or hotel business promotes tourism, tax revenue, everything. But of course, the hotel has to be 2-star or above. Bro, there has to be some standard. Otherwise, you will start a tea cart on the streets, hoping to become prime minister one day. You will start selling tea on the streets, and people ask you, "What do you do?" "I have a hotel." "What do you make in your hotel?" "I make a warm concoction of milk product mixed with some spices and some water, H2O, resulting in an edible liquid which creates mental strength." Chai, bro. Chai. We'll do some wo aisa. Then you can, when you have so much of English explanation of tea, you can actually sell this tea for 500 rupees. That's how 5-star hotels sell samosa. Mashed potatoes dipped in flour, besan, maida. Maida is bread. Samosas you make with what? Not with besan. See, I know only how to eat. Sorry, let's not get into the discussion. Hotel of 2-star and above. You understand? Minimum grading has to be 2-star. You start, roadside stall, CCD. Chandu Chai ki dukan. That is not eligible. That is not eligible. It has to be minimum, bro, 2-star. Next, the business of warehousing of sugar. See, sugar cane is agriculture product. Please understand. So sugar cane is already covered here. But sugar is not covered. I hope you are understanding. Sugar is made in factory. So it won't be covered in the first point. But we want to give benefit to people who are storing sugar also, and therefore we have put this separate. Sugar cane, why we have not put? Because sugar cane is already covered under agriculture. But sugar cane will not be covered under, sorry, my bad. Sugar will not be covered under agriculture. So sugar we are keeping separately. Is that clear? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Baap. Let's understand why Ambani remains the baap. An Indian company or a consortium of Indian companies. It may not be one company, it may be a group of companies. That group of companies will be called what? Consortium of Indian companies. It may be a group, may not be one company. Will be eligible for this deduction. Which deduction, sir? Indian company or group of Indian companies will be eligible for this deduction. Everybody is with me? Which clarifies two things. One, if this business is done by individual HUF firm LLP, there won't be any deduction. Two, the remaining 12 business, warehousing, cold chain, sugar, hotel, ICD-CFS, That means that business will be eligible for all assesses, because only at one place they have stipulated Indian company. What are you doing? Laying and operating across country petroleum or natural gas pipeline network. Laying and operating across country petroleum and natural gas pipeline network. Ah, okay, I'll explain. Mukesh Bhai is starting Jamnagar oil refinery, and there will be Reliance ka petrol pump at various places. So, do you understand the petroleum products manufactured here and the natural gas has to be transported to all these pumps? Lot of times on the highways, you'll see trucks of BPCL, HPCL, Indian Oil, which are carrying those petroleum products. But Mukesh Bhai is one of the smartest businessmen probably in the world. You need a different level of brain to be the Mukesh Bhai. Mukesh Bhai does not believe in recurring cost. HPCL, BPCL transport their petroleum through trucks from their refineries to their pumps and incur the transportation every day. Mukesh Bhai's business formula is simple. Incur any cost for acquiring anything which you don't have to incur again and again. He believes in one-time cost. For example, the technology with which he bought Jio. Most other companies have cell towers. Mukesh Bhai went for a technology called optical fiber. Optical fiber are basically underground cables that he has laid down. One-time cost. No recurring payment to be made to government for cell towers. One-time cost. Underground cables are actually Jio connect. Which is why you observe that whenever you go to a hill station or a high rise, you will get very difficult Jio network over. High rise में only Airtel will work. Vodafone you leave. Vodafone is that one company where even the air hostess never tells you put it on airplane mode. They never tell you put it on air. It is by default airplane mode. The main network related competition is Jio and Airtel wins here because Airtel works everywhere. As of now, in my humble opinion, best 4G network, 5G network. Bro, in the lockdown, the problem was that my house Wi-Fi was in my hall and my bedroom, the network was not coming. And we did not have the infra at that time to call for the extender because everything was closed. I had to take lectures. Now, how to take the lectures? I actually have taken for 2 years lectures on Zoom with mobile hotspot and with videos on. When videos are on, so data consumption is higher. With hotspot I have taken and Airtel worked. So being a user, I can say that. But Mukesh Bhai, underground optical fiber, one-time cost, no recurring cost. For transportation also, Mukesh Bhai does not want recurring cost. Every day he does not want to take his trucks here and there. You'll never see a Reliance car truck like you see HPCL, BPCL truck. Mukesh Bhai did what? This is my refinery. These are my petrol pumps. From my refinery, I will have underground pipeline that will take my petrol to my various petrol pumps. I will manufacture here and release the petrol. It will automatically reach my petrol pump. I don't have to send a truck which is, which has to be emptied over there and then the empty truck will come again. I don't have to do all that. One-time cost. And those who can afford such high one-time cost, Mukesh Bhai can afford that investment. Dig the road, lay the pipes, re-level the roads. No cost ever again. So his business strategy is simple. How much do you want? Amount. Take this amount. Don't ask for second time. And in one time, I can afford. So I will give you. There are some people who don't have money. So what they say is, right now take less, later I will give you more. Then they don't give more. Year after year, they convince you that we will grow together, but no one grew, bro. But those who have that massive investment at the beginning itself, Mukesh Bhai has no recurring cost. Very smart guy. But then massive capital expense. Massive capital. Understand? Dig the roads, lay the pipes, and level the roads. You understand? So that capital expense you will get 100% deduction. So do you realize there were two businesses of Adani and one business of Ambani? Correct? Now to which your reaction is, so you were saying Ambani is the baap of all, Ambani is the Ambani. Kya sir? So rather Adani has two businesses. Now understand what is Ambani and what is Adani. Okay? There is a business here, ICDCFS, notified by the government to give tax benefit. There is a business here, slum redevelopment, notified by the government to give tax benefit. Correct? Adani starts this business and of course uses his contact in the government to get these contracts. Please give me the Mundra port, please give me Dharaviri development. He does use, he is also Adani, bro. So yes, he is the Adani. Now let's understand how Ambani is different. There is no such business here. Ambani said, I am doing these pipelines. Please add the business. Adani is taking benefit of an already added business. He is getting the contract with his contacts. Ambani is getting the business added. He is the Ambani. Ambani says, I am not going to take benefit of the businesses that are notified here. I will do the business and you will notify it. The whole bloody world knows that two provisions in income tax have been added only and only for one person, that is the owner of India. Who? Mukesh Bhai. Mukesh Bhai. Arey bro, the Mukesh Bhai. Not that guy who comes before movies, no. Mukesh ko cancer. वो गुटका खा. The Mukesh Bhai. He rocks, bro. Mukesh Bhai rocks. He goes to a mall for shopping. What does he buy? Mall. He goes to PVR. What does he buy? PVR. I am waiting one day Mukesh Bhai watches my video and says, very smart, talented boy. How much will you come for? Take this check, fill the amount. That I will see at that time. You are Mukesh Bhai that you are offering. She is asking how many zeros. Definitely more than her. He is the one. We are waiting for him to make, to approach us. Okay, sir, at what price you want to sell yourself? See, somebody is giving 10 times of the current income. Ethics. How can you leave the batch midway? It's not appropriate. You can't do that. But somebody is giving 100 times of current income. No ethics. All the kids I will call and tell them, all of you all I am giving 1 lakh rupees. Is it okay if I am not doing your syllabus? 1 lakh rupee I am giving. Is it okay that I am not doing your syllabus? Bro, that day when it will actually come to receive that 1 lakh with if I sit with that money in my hand in front of you, take this or syllabus. Let's see. Let's see at that time when I'm actually sitting with the money. Okay? Like, too much of ethics I am also doing, but one day when someone sits with the money, you never know. So that will, only when it actually happens, you come to know. Unless and until it happens, you never know. हाँ? अच्छा, but इसमें twist भी है ना, bro. That even if I am not teaching you, wherever I am teaching, that video will be given to you. Plus that 1 lakh. अभी? Sir, नहीं live ही चाहिए, sir. अरे तो with that 1 lakh you can take admission over there. तो एडमिशन विल बी व्हाट ओनली फॉर टैक्स, तो इट विल बी व्हाट 5-6,000 रुपीज. इंटर में तो डायरेक्ट टैक्स का वीडियो लेक्चर का दिस मच ओनली आई एम चार्जिंग 6,000. तो इट इज स्टिल 94 का प्रॉफिट एंड इट इज न्यू ओनली. अभी बोल सर, अभी आई एम नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग सर व्हाट टू से सर. That's what I'm saying. When I keep the money on the table at that time, the reaction is different. I wanted to sell my old house now. Very old building, no much expectation, but every time a broker used to come, hey, I'll not sell it below 3 crore. I'll not sell it below 3 crore. Don't bring also anyone. One day he brought someone. That person sat with money. He said 2.5 crore, take it or leave it. I took it. That moment, the fraction of a moment, what comes to your mind and what decision you take, no one can decide or control that. Are we clear? You understand difference between Ambani and Adani? One is this, and second, in TDS chapter I will tell you one more thing. Amendment was brought only for Ambani. Of course they can't write. If left to this government, they can simply write point number 13, any business of Reliance Industries Limited. Over. Very easy, no? But they can't be so shameless and so open. So what do they say? Petroleum or natural gas pipeline. Lol. How many people have such pipelines? Question. And one more in TDS chapter we will discuss. You understood difference between Ambani and Adani? Bro, baap. One last business, infrastructure facility is remaining. We'll take a break. We start at 3:15 sharp after the break. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Let's go ahead. Business number 14. Business number 14. You have created it. You are the creator. Matlab your activity was developing it. Or it is possible someone else has been the creator. You are only operating, maintaining the day-to-day activities of this. Or is it possible that you only made it and you only are operating and maintaining it? Developing, operating and maintaining. Sir, when I say it, your reaction is what, sir? If that is given, the things will be a little clear. Some clarity will come. A new infrastructure facility. India's infrastructure is poorest in the world and the ever-growing population is not helping it. India's infrastructure is so bad that railways, we don't get tickets. Roads, they don't have potholes, bro. They have swimming pools. And airports, go to peak hour at air traffic at any of these airports. Go check the security queues. Mumbai airport, the security queue you ever check. Even when they made the new terminal 2, like world-class infra, but go check the queue over there. And ever-growing population is only spoiling things. Everything government tries to do, government brought Tejas train, people broke the screens and took the headphones home. So whether we deserve the infra or no is a question, but government is putting efforts. So there is someone who made the infra. Will you be eligible for 35 AD? Bro, by the way, we are doing 35 AD. Someone else made it. You are only doing the day-to-day running and maintaining. Will you be eligible? Yes. वही तो है. Developing or operating and maintaining. And of course, if you do everything, of course you will be eligible. Means first question is, the developer of infra, is that person eligible? Second question is, sir, someone else made it. I am only operating. Is that person eligible? Yes. And third, this is of course. When you are doing both, are you eligible? Yes. So developing, yes. Operating and maintaining, yes. And when you do everything, so yes. Of course, yes. Bro, is developer eligible? Yes. Operating and maintaining guy? Yes. And everything you do then? Yes. But the question is, infra. Developing what? Infra. What is infra? When they brought this 14th business, 2017 or 16, one of them, exact year, but 7 years ago, 7-8 years ago, when they brought this 14th business in the list, they also defined infrastructure. What do you mean by Infrastructure. Infra of classroom नहीं क्या good quality projector. National infrastructure. Following things will get covered. This will bring all the clarity. If you are making a road, is that infra? Will the maker of the road be eligible? The maintainer of the road? And if you do both, it is possible that road is made by National Highway Authority of India, but day-to-day maintenance is being done by Maharashtra State Road Development Corporation, MSRDC. Both eligible. A bridge, because if you observe last few years, there have been quite a few new bridges. Mumbai city itself, we have seen this bridge called Atal Setu that has been brought. We are seeing this infra development. Bridge, is that infra? Yes. Road can include toll road. It need not be free of cost. It can be free or they can charge some money. But is that still going to be considered as infra? Rail system. Rail system can cover metro, monorail, all types of rail systems. Is that infra? There will be one company which is making it. There is one company which is maintaining it. And there is one company which is doing both. Everyone will be eligible. Now things are becoming a little clear. Next, a highway project. Now there is confusion on this since the last 8 years since it has been introduced. Because they have added highway project in definition of infra. But what is definition of highway project that they have not given? Highway project is infra. But what is highway project? What do you mean by highway project? Only maintaining the highway cannot be highway project because the full statement is a highway project including housing and other activities as an integral part of that project is the full statement written in the law. To keep it simple, including housing and other activities. Highway project including housing and other activities. Means only making the road is not highway project. So what exactly is highway project? We'll have to understand. They have not defined it. It's been so many years. We'll have to use common sense. Supposingly our government is proposing to make a highway between Mumbai and Delhi. Then Mumbai-Delhi journey can be done in 14 hours. Today it takes more than 24 hours. But 14 hours they are promising. Some places so they promise 12 hours. 12 hours, 120 ka speed, 1400 kilometers. 12 into 12, 144, you'll be able to do it. But of course, we have to ask, sir, when you say Mumbai to Delhi, if this is Mumbai, exactly from which point you are counting? Bro, if you leave me in Virar in 14 hours, bro, from there I'll take 4 hours to reach home. So that for me will become 18 hours. I hope you understand. And the present condition of that National Highway 48. Because of highway work going on. The traffic is stuck for 5, 6, 7 hours. On certain days. At certain time. Sometimes it is clear also. Sometimes it is this massive. There is level difference in the road. So they are doing concretization of the road. So one patch is done. Your height is increased. Another patch is still the normal one. You understand the level difference? So those who are going from that lower level will continue on the lower level only for 50 kilometers. And supposingly that upper level has cars stuck. I can see those vehicles going. Just imagine the FOMO. But I can't take the car down because there is level difference. So they will make the other part also concrete. It will take quite some time. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a promise. Now with this promise, what the government will be able to achieve? Our city infra is currently overburdened. So when such a fast highway will be made, we will probably create something called highway projects in the form of smart cities. We will identify new cities between big cities. What will happen? It will reduce the population burden and the infrastructure burden of the big cities. This smart city will have corporate offices. So people will work. It will have upscale, hi-fi societies, housing societies. Same people will stay there. It will have international school so that children will study. It will have world-class hospital. It will have multiplex. It will have mall. It will be a city in itself. The basically invention of new city. Government wants to become Columbus. 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 So our government is basically doing that. See, once upon a time, believe me. For example, in Mumbai, there is this place called Powai city. Powai. It used to be a forest, but there is this developer called Hiranandani who decided to convert it into such an area that today it is one of the most respected areas of the city. So basically, some developer will develop the entire region. When they say including housing and other activities, then this is what we can have as a possible conclusion. Do you understand? A highway project including housing and other activities. Everyone is clear? By the way, highway project is still not defined. This is my explanation of what they have written. Of course, once the highways are ready, when they actually start those smart cities, then there will be clarity whether those smart cities ka constructors, builders are getting the tax benefit or no. Will make it clear that they are covering such projects under the definition of highway project. Next, a water supply system. See, if you have good roads but you don't have water supply at home, what kind of infra are you living in? Infra only does not mean hi-fi roads and housing societies. This is basic infra. Water treatment system is also important because we say there is shortage of water, and at the same time 70% of the world is water. Bro, ocean water that cannot be consumed. Startup idea. If you invent anything that can convert that ocean water into potable water, bro, your raw material is free. CA का brain है ना? Your raw material is free, and you have unlimited water supply. Your competitors will not stand only in front of you. Now, if you start selling 1 liter mineral bottle at 2 rupees or 3 rupees because you are getting it free, bottle ka cost is not too much once you scale up. The competitors will be finished, or alternatively they will have to reduce their prices. The margins will be over. And startup is simple. Use other people's money. That is startup. Startup is simple. Don't earn, don't let others earn. Very simple. Very few are those who actually have innovative ideas. Most are basically not to let anybody else earn. Most startups are based on the philosophy of finishing the competitors. I still appreciate companies like Ola or Zomato. They did not have any competitor. They changed culture. We don't go outside our house and search for taxi anymore. We book it before exiting our house, leaving our. We wait for it to come under our building, then we leave our house. Or Zomato, we don't go to the restaurant. We very easily, and not the nearby restaurant. Earlier we used to order, but nearest restaurant we used to call, and there people used to come and deliver. But now we can order from wherever we want. So they have changed culture with investor money. But there are other people who are only trying to finish competitors with investor money. So we don't have to get into that discussion. Point is simple. If somebody has a water treatment infra, that means he is solving one of the biggest problems of the world as of now. That is also infra. Should be eligible for 35 AD. Irrigation. Oh, irritation nahi hai, that you feel every time my lecture is going on. Irrigation. Agriculture का water supply, irrigation. SEWERAG. I'll end up mispronouncing it. Sewerage. SEWERAG. And solid waste management. Bro, please understand, where we have massive population, we have massive waste being generated, both solid waste and liquid waste. Once upon a time, the onus, the burden was on the local authority. Local authority used to send its people at our houses to collect the garbage. Bro, our local authority, despite being so rich, has completely waived off the responsibility. Bola, no, you have to hire companies. There are actually companies which are in waste collection business. Our housing society has given contract that every day 2-3 of your staff will come and collect the garbage from the entire building. Every house of the building, you will collect the garbage. So we have to pay that company. And now that company also uses this garbage for manure generation. I don't know whether you're aware of the process called composting. You can convert waste into fertilizer. So that also they sell and earn money. Double benefit. But are they solving a big problem? Waste collection. Sewage system is similar only. It is liquid waste. Sir, see, you wash your hands in any basin or sink, or you wash your utensils, you take bath. Where is that water going? That is sewage system. That has to be clean. Because if that is not clean, is when we see floods in our city. The day we change our manners and we stop throwing plastic, we use plastic. See, plastic sometimes cannot have a replacement because of its properties. One of the biggest problem is when you come home from a water park, how to bring your clothes. Plastic does not have an alternative in that regard. But at least don't throw it on the street now. Because it is that plastic which is choking the drain, resulting in floods. If your city has all the hi-fi roads, metro, monorail, everything, but it gets flooded, and the slightest of rains, then where is the infra? Where is the infra? Please understand. I used to take lectures in Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad is, divided by Sabarmati river in two parts, old city, new city. One side of the Sabarmati river is the old city. It is like almost looks like a village. But you go to the other side, I have not seen, a better vibe in a lot of cities because I've traveled a lot of places. There is outside of Mumbai, there is a place called Navi Mumbai, Vashi. That place has similar vibes. You go there, kind of infra that they have made over there. Our definition of good infra is basically you don't feel like you are in India. It feels like a foreign country. That means good infra. Ahmedabad में similar है. Wide roads, excellent roads, excellent construction. 4 cars at a signal, and people say today there is too much of traffic. 4 cars is too much of traffic. Bro, they need to come to Haji Ali Junction of Mumbai one day and understand what is traffic. Haji Ali Junction. We hope that the new coastal road will fall in this. It probably falls, solve the problem. We'll have to wait and watch. One portion has started, not the entire path. Yesterday it started.
Way for buses.
They have who has different way for buses? Ahmedabad, no, I am coming to that. Rapid transit system. They have a separate dedicated bus lane. Buses, there were proposals that we will have bus lane. Bro, there is only one lane. You give that to buses. What about the other people? Lot of developed countries have separate lanes for buses. In Mumbai, if we have a bus lane and we have a car lane, all cars will be in the bus lane when there is no bus. And all buses will be in the car. If cars are going like this, there is a left turn here. This guy will take the left turn first. If there is a right turn, so this guy wants to take right, but there was space here, so he first came here in front of everyone. Signal opened. Poor guy, he wants to go straight, but he will first overtake, which is why all the people get stuck here. KEM circle. Bro, one day what happened? I just, started liking the city a lot, considering infra, considering the traffic that I face here, and because I love driving, and within city Mumbai, mein you can't say you love driving. So Ahmedabad I used to like. One evening I was taking CA final lecture, 6:30 to 9:30 ka lecture, after office hours. 6:30 I started. It was raining. How does a Mumbai guy get affected with some heavy rain? At 8 o'clock, those students forced me to give a break. 3 hours के lecture I usually don't give, but they force us to break. But take it. It was raining heavily. They said, sir, leave. Leave. Why? Because it is raining. You lost your brain? I am from Mumbai. Leave a class because it is raining. I have not heard a better joke in the last decade. पागल है, बक, go sit in the class. The staff came because late evening, most of the admin staff, etc., only the person who was going to close the class. Then they have a full building. So only the person who sleeps also over there. He came, sir, too much of rain, you will have to leave. 15 minutes later, the class ka director called. Bola, sir, you will have to leave. Of course, I didn't say, of course, no. I have always been very respectful to seniors and juniors also. So I said, sir, why? He explained, sir, you are from Mumbai. He used to, during his CA day, study in Mumbai only in a hostel. He said, sir, Mumbai wale ho na, isliye you don't understand. Here in our class, there are students who travel 30-40 kilometers on their two-wheelers for attending this class. So after your class, they have to go home 30 kilometers. In Ahmedabad, in every household, if you have 5 family members, there will be 6 two-wheelers. 1 per person, 1 spare. In that class, I said they have a full building. They have a compound. They have parking of at least 1,000 bikes, two-wheelers. And at one time, it is fully occupied during the day. Because it's a full building. Every floor has classrooms. And the lowest class capacity was 250 or 300. I have taught, they have a top floor, they have a theater. 600 students in one classroom. And all of them come on their two-wheelers. Sometimes that compound is also insufficient. They have 2 basements. So additional 1,000 and 1,000. Once that compound is full, the staff, the security staff sends the kids in the basement. Then they are instructed that first fill the basement, last keep the compound. One day I went, he's like, sir, sir nahi hai, hey, basement with a city mark. No, sir, teacher hai. Bro, I look. Then other staff came running, hey, sahib che. Matlab, they talk like that only, Gujus. Then he is like, oh, sorry. Bro, after that I started taking the car because only teachers are allowed to bring car. So if car mein someone has come, it is assumed that it will be teacher only. When the director called me, I asked this. He explained the reason. I had to leave the class. They had a slope for entry and exit of two-wheelers. Below the slope, the water was above my knees. Now I understand why students wanted to go. And it was a matter of 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Because at 6:30 it started raining, but at 8:15 all this happened. So 1.5 hours में the water height is above my knees. And bro, I have good height. ऐसा नहीं है कि bro, I am only 2 or 3 feet and the water has. Bro, I am 5'10". And above my knee height means, bro, Adnan, you wouldn't have been visible over there. Swimming आती है Adnan. Still, you wouldn't have been visible. No, अंदर होता ना. I said you wouldn't have been. I didn't say you'll drown. I said you'll not be visible. Adnan, you play guitar? No. Any other musical instrument? No. Good. Because the guitar would have been taller. I hope I am not offending you. Chalega? Don't say chalega, otherwise I'll continue. Pakka? Love you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Don't take it at heart, anything. हाँ मतलब if you take also तो nothing you'll be able to do, but still from my side I'm saying it's okay. Bro, listen. Then I realized that all this heavy infra, all these roads, all this is of no use if you don't have a proper sewage system where your water is not going only in this level of rain. And then I say I take pride that I am from Mumbai. Bro, you do anything, nothing happens there. Mumbai is classic, bro. Abhi 2008 ka story, you may not be knowing. 2008 worst terrorist attack ever in Mumbai. One corner of the city, you have that Taj Hotel, that Oberoi Hotel. Here, the police and the terrorists are having a crossfire, fighting with each other. Other part of the city, shops have opened and are doing normal business like nothing has happened. And this was not over. I'll tell you. Evening, attack took place. Night, everyone reached home. Next day, everything was closed because everyone was scared. They had never seen an attack like this before. This fight went on for 2 or 3 days. These shops were closed only for one day. Second day, everyone opened. To Mumbai, we have to pay even for breathing. We can't keep shop closed. City ka other corner is functioning normal like nothing. I was attending. Believe me. 26 November attack took place. 28th or 29th, I have attended my friend ki sister ka wedding in Mumbai city itself. Where on the other part of the city, the terrorists and the police were still fighting with each other. They were not yet neutralized. ये Mumbai city है, and I take pride. The spirit of the city never sleeps. And bro, we don't leave class in rain of 1.5 hours. क्या बोला था? हाँ, छोड़ देते. Because parents don't call me. Okay, sir, too much of rain, leave the kids. Parents will probably be calling him, so he has this responsibility. I don't have any responsibility. I will make fun of you. Parents will call him. ये करवाना मत हाँ, bro. I was on. He has that responsibility. Okay. He does not know. I know you so well. He does not know that, bro, no one is going to cry for you because you haven't done anything in life. First, do something in life that people actually cry for. Other than that, parents will always cry. Obviously, they will. But you do something that at least 4 other people, other than your family members, at least 4, should cry. That day when I die, no, ऐसा come and do acting वाला crying. Otherwise, my whole life will become waste if by chance you get the news. Then most of you all stay nearby only. Aisa, Hitesh, you do. Sure. Just hide this. Sure. Please, huh? Otherwise, my family thinks I am good for nothing and they will assume this forever. So, point is this: good roads, good bridges. No point when you don't have a waste management system, both solid and liquid. Do you understand? So, there is someone who is making these, someone who is maintaining, and someone doing both. All of them are going to be eligible. Is that understood? And last, easy to understand. Port. Airport. So how many people are aware that 7 airports of our country for maintenance have been handed over to Tana? You know or you don't? You don't know. You find out. For management. See, airport is made by someone else. But operations, no problem. Operations also covered. But one more time, I must tell you, business got added, Adani took contract. Adani is not so capable that I am doing business, you add the business. You add the business, I take benefit of that. But add the business for me. Only Ambani can do it. Only Ambani. And don't make fun of Ambani. Don't make fun of his weight, his appearance. He's making fun of you, your my bank balance. I told you about my mother ka lesson. Never make fun of anyone. God will make you like that. That day onwards, I am making fun of Ambani and challenging God. Make me like that. Make no. But it means God time, please. When I say make me like Ambani, I don't mean Anand. नहीं तो God will feel you are saying नहीं तो I made you नहीं आकाश चलेगा I don't mind preferably मुकेश भाई ये क्या बोला अनिल हाँ Ambani, not वो वाला. Bro, even if I become that Akash, no, I won't do what he did. नहीं. Bro, I don't have so much patience. Bro, one I handle with very difficulty. Lots of difficulty. I'm telling you that sometimes it happens that after class, supposedly that other class ka timing that I told you, no, I have another following class. It is not immediate. There is some time gap. In that time gap also, I am not allowed a breather. I have been told, ठीक है, तो बस का time है, come to pick him. And I have to run. And just imagine if there were two. So which bus I go and run for? And just imagine if the number matches Akash. Bro, then it will be easy because we'll have our own bus. Then you don't have to do pick up and drop. We'll maintain or run our own buses. Bro, I am talking about Akash Ambani. So yes, Adani has been handed over maintenance of our airports. Inland port. See, ports are of two types. One, international port. One, are you aware that our government is also promoting local ports within the country start traveling using the water route because all the other infras are overburdened. We have classic examples of Mumbai ferry going to Alibag or Kochi ferry going to Fort Kochi with roll-on, roll-off facility where you can take your vehicles inside the ferry. I'm sure you guys are aware of this. So inland port, inland waterway. See, port you make, but there has to be a route also, no? Which also can be known as a navigation. But this navigational channel has to be in sea. Today, if I put on my map Mumbai to Alibag or Kochi to Fort Kochi, so the map will show me the route via road. And then when I actually entered the sea, the map got confused. Where exactly am I? Then when I finally reached the port, it again started showing me the city map of Alibag. Because there is no map which is actually giving you water travel, water ka journey possibility. You may probably Google, but we are used to putting things on the map. So for this reason, navigational channel in the sea also develop, operate, maintain, or do both. You will be eligible. This is, ladies and gentlemen, I knew that the last business is going to take so much time. Is why I took the break. And so imagine taking the break now. So you would have said, sir, leave us early, no 10 minutes, no break. Now I am not leaving you early, already. Ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, this was list of specified 35 AD, 14 specified businesses, 100% deduction of capital expenditure, pre-commencement also without any time limit, just capitalize in books of accounts. If you take this, then you won't get depreciation, but if you don't take, then you will get depreciation. No deduction on land, goodwill, financial instrument. It should be a new business, not takeover of existing. Second and local maximum 20%. New local no limit, and imported will be considered as new only. Second and local maximum. Hello. Then we did that SEZ wala point. Same business you can take only one of them, but same person on different business can take. Lock-in of 8 years. And if you violate, then the deduction taken will become taxable. 3 points of set of chapter. Finally, we came to the list of businesses. The beauty of 35 AD is you will be allowed to subtract your capital expense. Now see, at the end of this list, you are not expected to memorize the list. But if I ask you, warehousing of agriculture produce, warehousing of sugar, sugar is not agriculture. Then also, warehousing of cotton, cotton is agriculture product. Warehousing of sugar cane, yes. Warehousing of tomatoes, yes. Warehousing of motorcycle, motorcycle does not grow in farms. He's shocked. बोला क्या बात कर रहे हो? Warehousing of edible oil. No, edible oil is made in factories. Beekeeping, honey making. Yes. Electric switch making. Switch बोला तो क्या semiconductor? I am asking electric switch making, AC making, semiconductor wafer fabrication of the AC. You understand? Yes or no ka answer if you can give, so you are fulfilling the expectation at least that I have found. Correct hai? This, ladies and gentlemen, is your 35 AD, and don't forget, come take deduction. Come, matlab, is that clear? 35 AD. Let's go ahead. Section 35D. The deduction for preliminary expenses. Deduction for what, bro? Preliminary expenses. See, till now we have given pre-commencement expense ka deduction to scientific research and specific. But will other people also incur some preliminary expenses like printing of memorandum of association, printing of articles of association, printing of prospectus? If you start a company, are these expenses done before starting? Partnership deed, if it is a firm or LLP, legal charges for drafting and all this, filing and all this. Bro, you will have to conduct something called a feasibility study. Think about it. You will have to incur a market study or market research expense. Don't you think so? Just because you have money, you invest in a business. There has to be some feasibility. What's the point of starting a business which is not going to survive? You get an independent study done, and there will be someone who will make a report and tell you that yes, start this business, or no, don't start this business. You understand? Will these expenses be incurred before actual commencement of business? Now, pre-commencement usually is given as a deduction only to scientific research or specified business. But now we want to give this benefit to everyone. So, we are going to give this benefit to everyone under section 35D. For this purpose, we are going to divide you into two types of assessees. The rule for corporate assessee is different and the rule for non-corporate assessee is different. Corporate means companies and non-corporate. Are we giving you deduction of your pre-commencement expense? Scientific and specified we give full, but other people we will give limited. Let us understand what is the calculation. Step number 1 is not calculation of deduction. Step number 1 is calculation of qualifying amount. Deduction will be calculated on this qualifying, like we did in SEZ, like we did on depreciation deduction. First step is going to be calculation of qualifying amount. Under non-corporate, you take your actual preliminary expenses. So you must have incurred some actual expenses on memorandum, articles, prospectus, legal charges. Yes or no? Example, 2 lakh rupees. Is that my actual expense before starting the business? Compare this with 5% of your cost of project, and between them choose whichever is lower, that will become qualifying. Actual expenses on preliminary stuff will be restricted to 5% of your COP, cost of project. What's your question? Answer. Ask your question, I'll answer the question. You don't have any question? So I'll go to the corporate assessee. Konsa project? The project that you have started, the new business you have started, therefore preliminary expenses. No. What is cost of project? Project is what you have started. What is cost of project? If I explain cost of project, you will understand the calculation. Sir, what is cost of project? The total expense, the total investment in fixed assets at the end of the previous year. Total investment in fixed asset at the end of the previous year. So please understand what is that. Okay. This is my previous year. At the beginning of the year, I first do a feasibility. So can I say the actual expense will happen at the beginning of the year? Example, the actual expense was 2 lakh rupees. With this, the report may be favorable or adverse. Adverse, so stop the business. You don't have to start. But by chance the report is favorable, so I'll confidently start the business. I'll start buying my fixed assets. So I'll buy little, one plant, one machinery, one furniture. Slowly, I will make my investment. It will be much big. 2 lakh is only preliminary. Once I am convinced, I might invest 30, 40, 50 lakh, 1 crore rupees during the full year. So on this date, I will go and check how much is my total investment. Now read the definition. Total investment in fixed asset at the end of the previous year. Example, 1 crore. With 2 lakh, I am convinced. So I invest 1 crore. You understand? So what is 5% cost of project? 5 lakh. Are 1 crore, no? So 5 lakh. नहीं समझे? Actual expense is 2 lakh. And how much investment I have made? 1 crore. So what is 5% of that? That means, bro, this is 2 lakh. If this comes to 1 crore, so this answer will come to 5 lakh. Finally, my qualifying amount will become whichever is lower. Yes, samjha? Now, supposingly the investment that I made was only 10 lakhs. Is possible? If this was only 10 lakh, then this would have been 50,000. Then qualifying amount would have been 50,000. So whatever is the actual expense, that is separate. Compare with 5% of cost of project, and whichever is lower will become your qualifying amount. Everyone understood this? Now no confusion. Actual expense, you know what you have incurred. With that you make investment. Hello? Investment in fixed assets, which we can't take on individual date because different dates you acquire different assets. So we wait till the end of the year. Total investment at the end of the year will become cost of project. 5% of that compared with your actual expense, and we choose whichever is lower will become our deduction. Nine qualifying amount. Correct? And let's talk about corporate assessing. Let's see what is different. Are you 100% sure you've understood? Actual expense. Same hai. 2 lakh rupees you can take, or 5% of cost of project. Between them, if I make you choose whichever is lower, then so it will become same only. Yes or no? Is this same as what we have written under non-corporate? Corporate only has one extra thing. Wait, re baba. Don't take cost of project direct. Along with cost of project, you take something called capital employed. And between these two, first you choose whichever is higher. Cost of project or capital employed, whichever is higher. On that, apply 5%. And that you compare with actual expense, whichever is lower. So first step will be in the bracket. Cost of project or capital employed, whichever is higher. Cost of project is same. Total fixed asset at year end. What's your second question? What is the meaning of capital? Capital employed can come only in corporate assessing, because capital employed means equity share capital plus preference share capital plus your reserves and surplus plus your long-term debt. Basically, in financial management, our balance sheet is not asset and liability. It is sources of fund and application of fund. Your sources of funds are capital employed. This will not cover your short-term bank overdraft, because do you write it under sources of funds? No. Bank overdraft you write under working capital, application of funds, current asset minus current liability. No. You know this much financial management, and you know why I know all this. So focus karo. These are your sources of funds. That means, can I say this is the capital that we have raised? Compare with the assets that we have acquired. You are not required to learn case laws as CA inter students, but I want to tell you, in a case law it was declared, Berger Paints ka case law tha, securities premium will not be taken. That way, when we raise equity, major portion comes in premium. But Supreme Court said, Supreme Court judgment, name of the assessee Berger Paints. Case laws are not required for inter students, but I am telling you because I know that Supreme Court decided and declared in the case of Berger Paints that securities premium not to be taken. Is that clear? So step number 1, take the total of your equity, preference, all your sources of funds. That is your capital. Compare it with cost of project. Whichever is higher, then do what? 5%. Next, compare with actual. Whichever is lower is your deduction. No qualifying amount. In step number 2, we will give you deduction of 1/5 of your qualifying amount, and this you can take over a period of 5 years. 1/5 for 5 years. 1/5 for 5 years. Hello? Same as pre-construction interest. Full amount we won't give you deduction at one go. 1/5 over a period of 5 years. Let's take this example. Actual expense was 2 lakh. Say cost of project is 1 crore. So 5% will be 5 lakh. What's your qualifying amount? 2 lakh divided by 5. 40,000 ka deduction you will get every year. This is your allowed deduction for 5 years. Then go check accounts, debited, not debited, or some other amount is debited. Maybe we have debited full 2 lakh rupees because current year expense, add 2 lakh less 40. Next year, we'll again get 40,000 deduction because 5 years. But this time we won't debit anything because we've already debited 2 lakh last year. So add nothing, just less 2 lakh. For 5 years, you have to less 2 lakh. For, my bad, sorry. 5 years, you have to less 40,000. You understood? Step number 1 will be qualifying amount. In non-corporate, direct actual expense or 5% of cost of project, whichever is low. In corporate, you don't take 5% of cost of project. You take 5% of cost of project or capital employed, whichever is higher. Then compare it with actual, whichever is lower. And both places, whatever qualifying amount you get, 1/5 over a period of 5 years. Clear hai? That's your deduction of preliminary. 1 minute. Any doubt? No? Wait. New business starting is not easy. You have to be mentally, physically, financially ready. You have to be ready to suffer losses. It is like gambling only, hit out or get out. New business requires guts. New business requires lots and lots of finance. New business requires lots and lots of daring. Don't you agree? Daring is required, no? Without daring, dedication, if that fits or suits your agenda. Without that, you will not be able to survive. Are you understanding? But so we are near completion of allowed expenses. So we can safely say that in our next class, we will be able to complete allowed as well as disallowed because that is a smaller part. We will be solving questions of PGBP if we have time. And one thing you clearly understand, at that time, if you don't know the answers of depreciation or scientific research or 35 or the others which I will be doing in the next class, we won't be in a position to solve the questions. Any random question I ask you from anything in PGBP, you should be able to answer. You have a weekend and absolutely nothing to do. So please make sure that you, which is nothing to do only. You and me both know how much you're studying for the test. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next class on Monday.